8. Hey guys, so we're here on episode 9,
Hey,
and
well, to the
we know
end.
her by Ashley, but her new name is Janessa. So she is going to be joining us today reviewing episode 9. We're so excited. Um, so before we get started, I just want to hear, I want to we were kind of talking about it before we started recording, but I want to hear your guys' thoughts on episode 8. Share screen too.
So 8 was crazy because I
Yeah.
think that got only not only the fact that we got that far to it, but it just felt like this was one of those episodes where it was just kind of like the numbers have now changed, right? Tabitha
Yeah.
is kind of there, and Mary's that. The funny thing about seeing Mary talk is just like she'll say so much more, and then I'll be like, I'm gonna have to talk to Mary, and Mary's not gonna say nothing. So it was a lot in that episode. Like there was so many levels of like you said, of like the anxiety of like shit, we gotta win. Now that the
Mhm.
team is kind of getting there, but it's just like, how does this now flip to where she's gonna be like, I would say every man for themselves, but like how do we balance this out? Because it's just like
Yeah.
there's the numbers is dwindling in who's gonna pull it out. And that's how I felt. I was just like, this is that's where I felt like the intensity started getting there just from a gameplay standpoint. Because I'm just like, numbers
Right.
wise, and even just male wise, it's like it's me. You know what I'm saying? We also, and he's
I
doing his
know.
thing, and it's just like how are we gonna manage this? So I mean, I thought that episode was kind of where everything started to now shift towards just like now it's about to get into some serious gameplay, because it's just like, how am I
Yeah.
gonna manage winning, but knowing that even because I was like, you can't lose now, because it's just like, number wise, Susan's vote's gonna be Susan's vote. She ain't changing. She mad,
Mhm,
and I never
mhm.
felt like I couldn't get Susan to change. And so just kind of like, if we had had time in the end of that, maybe I'm like, oh, Susan, now that you throw Tabitha out, now you can be back on us. But I just felt like she kind of threw herself so
Yeah.
far to that. And
I'm
when they
glad that you I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, no, and then
Go ahead.
I just felt like, no, it's time now. This is
Yeah.
time.
I'm glad that you mentioned that Susan Tabitha folk, because honestly, I think that if Susan had came to me and said that, because you see where I'm like saying like I think Tabitha is working with Dom and Rita, like you two, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm
Hmm.
starting to realize she had said it a couple times. I had picked it up. Like when
Yeah.
me and her had like a one-on-one, she was like, I'm with Rita now. We were in a tribal once and she
Hmm.
was like, I'm with Rita. And I was like, I know she's saying I'm with Rita I know it was in the context of the conversation, but the thing is the inflection was truth to it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You get what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
I felt that. And if Susan had came to me and said, that she wanted to even vote Tabitha, it would make sense why Tabitha is feeling like she shouldn't trust Susan. That would make sense to
Yeah.
me. That would let me know that me and Susan need to pivot off Tabitha because she'd already jumped ship.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, because at that
whereas,
point, Dom and I, we didn't vote Tabitha at all. Like she wasn't even
Mhm.
on our radar. She wasn't
Yeah,
like we were in hindsight still kind of working with her. We just
hmm
didn't know
hmm
where she stood at that point until
exactly.
the Susan vote. So
hmm
but yeah, and I could see why she wasn't very trustworthy, because there was it was kind of a shift for me as well, as soon as we kind of merged together, and I would
hmm
talk to Susan, and I think everybody puts the blame on me and Dom for not kind of solidifying that relationship. But if you kind of go back and see, I did try to talk to Susan, but
hmm
every time I would talk to her, she would go and take information back to you. And I felt that. And I was like, there's no way I can pull her back into being part of this supposed team that we had. So I was like, let me just run with that for how it is.
And that's
But more
exactly how I felt in
importantly,
that moment. I was just like,
Yeah.
now this is how I can solidify Tabitha. Because I'm
Yeah.
like, Tabitha's been wanting this information. I'm gonna pull it out because
Mhm.
Susan can't run now. She's gonna have to say this
Yeah.
because I'm just like,
exactly.
boom.
And that
And it's
was
like I had to set that bomb off on her, and
I
they're like, "Why do you vote for Susan?" I'm like, because if I can get Tabitha to feel like now she's a part of it, now it's
Right.
just like now we can maneuver it that way.
Right. She was
well,
she was
Rita,
she was easier.
I realized no, she actually came to you
Yeah.
and told you that I made her do it. Do you remember
Yes.
she said, yes, she did during one
No,
of the
Susan was
episodes.
on. Yeah, Susan kept saying that. She's like, Ashley's kind of telling me to do everything, and I kind of want to say
She
no.
said, yes. And that's why Rita was initially thinking that yes. Because you said you had went and talked to her and she said, well, Ashley told me not to quit. I didn't tell her not to quit.
Oh, that's right. She did say that. That's right. She did say
Yes,
that.
she
Mhm.
did.
That's
She
right.
told you that I said, don't quit, Susan.
That's
Don't
right.
quit. I
And
did not
see,
tell her
it
that.
was like a lot of like back and forth with that. And it was like and when I initially like called you guys out, it wasn't like out of like malice or spite.
Yeah.
It was just like for me, I'm not able to hide my emotions or anything like or even like play a fake game towards people. So I'm like, I might as well just tell these people like, hey, I don't trust you guys. And that's like, and I was like, because that's just like how I felt at that time, because I
But
just like was hearing
I
all this
felt like,
back and forth.
I guess this is my whole thing as far as like that was concerned,
Yeah,
because I don't even know if we had even had a chance to talk
we did
about the Jason vote, because when we finally, and that was the whole thing. And then that was the whole thing. That was the crux of it. We never
Yeah.
had an opportunity to talk about the Jason vote.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So
Mhm.
it was like, yeah, I don't know.
And in
It was,
hindsight, I kind of traded you out because the person I told you to trust, you trusted
yeah,
in the clutch, and that's what slid you into home plate at
right.
Final Four.
Right. Well, yeah, and I feel like same with like just me and Dom like sticking with each other like from the like beginning as well. Like because
Mhm.
everyone like I'm kind of going through episode 9, like Mary says like, hey, I think like Dom might be like Rita's like I don't know shield or and somewhat, and I'm like in like realization like I did actually win some challenges. And like I was actually making more of like the
Mhm.
gameplay as far as like votes go than probably anyone else like on We Are Legends. But it kind of did seem that way that Dom was like my shield, even though that like was not the case. But I think what was I know, but I think what was like for me, like what drove us to the end is just like us being, I don't know, loyal to each other. Cause like even when Emily like we like Emily when she strayed away, you caught on to that, even though that wasn't
Mhm.
truthful. And like,
Mhm.
or that wasn't like, it wasn't what like she was trying to do, but she wasn't like trying to have like such a target because of like how close we were. And she was just trying to like, I guess like sway that to another direction and it failed. But you picked up on that. And that's
Mhm.
like kind of what like solidified like her like destiny. So with
Yeah, I guess
that.
I
So
took
it's just like
vigilantes to the. I guess I took being a vigilante to the heart, because I'm like, anybody who I see being disloyal to their people, they've got to go.
and you know
But
what? And
that's
I
exactly
kept and I
how I was. Loyalty was more important to me because they were like, "Why didn't I vote for
right.
Ashley?" I'm like, Susan set herself there. I wouldn't. There's
Yeah.
no way I thought Susan would actually switch the vote to Ashley, because that's what I'm
Right.
saying. Like when they start talking, I'm like, in hindsight, the loyalty part of it is just like that will matter more because in
Right.
That's
the
why
end,
I was so surprised
Yep.
that everyone was mad at me. I'm literally cutting people who I'm looking at being disloyal to you.
mhm.
Well,
I'm
see,
helping
for
you.
me,
Not just you, but
Jason,
everybody in the game. In the game.
for
Mhm.
me, Jason, he was not disloyal towards me. I think the only person that he was disloyal to was Susan. But again,
Yes.
I don't think they actually made an actual alliance. It was just like going back on it, they made like everyone was like, hey, we're gonna be one big team and it's gonna be a kumbaya. But as far as like what I saw, it was like Riazo, Susan, and Emily made an alliance, and then me, Dom, Emily, and Jason made that alliance.
So this
And
was
well, go ahead.
Jason's his crime against disloyalty was when he told me, I don't know how Mary felt about it, but I didn't like being told not to tell.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't
Yeah.
appreciate someone silencing me. I do
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
I do not like being silenced. That.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I agree. I agree fully with that because I like being transparent with people and I like
Yeah.
telling
That's what
them.
we have with the whole
And
game.
I
That's what
tried
it's
to
like,
bite
I'm
my
gonna
tongue
tell
as
you.
long as I could. And Susan came to me. I mean, she fell on the sword right there and appealed to my. He was trying to appeal to my better nature, and it was working. And I was even silenced for him. But when Susan was willing to appeal to my dying nature, as save the soul,
But see, that for me,
I was willing to
that's
go.
why
I think from
I
a psychology
felt,
standpoint,
It was
you
a path to the end. I
Mhm.
seen
and that's
it.
why,
I seen it when I seen Rita. When I met Rita, I seen it.
and I felt for me, but I felt responsible for Jason because when you and I first had that initial like conversation, that very first conversation, you're like, hey, you can trust Tabitha. And I was like, hey, you can trust Jason. And then I doubled down on that and I went to Jason and I was like, hey, you can trust Ashley. And then I think Tabitha even told Jason, hey, you can trust Ashley. And I think just like that lingering in his conscious was like, hey, I can trust this person. And then that like, and I'm wondering
Rita,
if that's
I
why.
barely got a chance to talk. Like literally, when we got on that team, me and Mary were just like, "This is Legends, and this is our team, and like you guys are gonna do what we
Yeah.
want to do." And I was
Yeah.
literally going along like it, like a good little military brat child that I am. And he's a good old drill sergeant, and I was just willing to follow whatever. This is their team. I just want to get back to my own team. You know, I'm
Right.
part of the team, do the team. And when,
Right.
like I said, when someone came and was willing to appeal to my empathy, which is what she
Yeah.
did,
Yeah.
I was willing to jump ship on the civilian, on the military life, and I was ready to be a civilian again. And I was ready to get out of the regime. Okay. And, you know, I gave you Tabitha in place of Jason. Okay. How
Yeah.
about that?
Yeah. No, you did. You absolutely did. And you know what's funny though is I kind of like they are kind of the same kind of player if you really think about it because
They are.
Tabitha in the
Mhm.
beginning made an alliance with Typhon and
Mhm.
she completely switched being on Typhon's side and I was like dang, and for me that was like I was like he got voted out because like
But
seeing that and seeing that perspective, you're just like, damn, bro.
that's how I
Mhm.
knew. That's how I knew she was going to be beneficial in the
Yeah,
long run, not but for me,
right,
but for you, because she was
right.
working with me, and I had already clocked the fact that, like someone else had said it, whoever basically she talked to last,
Yeah,
she was, and her game stance was, that's what who you work with, and that's what you know, this is Survivor. Yes, you know.
exactly. And
Susan
then,
was like, whoever was loyal, you swing to them. Whoever's more loyal in that moment, you swing to them.
yeah, and that's it for me. That's why I never I couldn't really get behind Susan 100%.
Mhm,
And I never could get behind Riaza 100%. And I
mhm,
think he took that to heart that I didn't get behind him during the final vote that he got voted out. But in
mhm,
realization, like he kind of made his own bed with that as well.
So he
Because
said he
mhm.
made too many. He went
he
too many
he was
mousetraps. He
going
set too
too
many
many
traps for
ways
himself.
and I was catching up on that and there was times where I was trying to pull him in, hey, you're part of this team and this is what's going
Mhm.
to happen, but then you could tell like he was like giving out information and I was
Mhm.
like, bro, like
He was
there's no
tunnel
trust
vision on
there.
the advantages.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Okay,
yeah,
he had straight tunnel vision because he said it. He said he had no advantages and he needed to
yeah.
flush as many as he could so that he could go further in the game. And so
So
he that's
I think my
but
biggest question is like, so I think everyone wants to know why you decided to vote out Emily, but instead of me, considering
um
people think that you and
Me,
I
because
were like
I was saying the
against
whole
each
episode,
other.
you voted for Dom. Mary voted, Susan voted, everybody voted for Dom. I'm like, of course you go vote for Dom. And then I'm like,
this is the thing. We had speculated that, and you see it on there, that you had something, Dom. You had won, you know, competitions. You had to have had something. And
Right.
so because we already had that speculation that Dom must have something, I just kept feeling like, let them vote Dom. And I really was not trying to use, I wasn't trying to use it, but and that's why Riazo was pushing it, because he was trying to get as many as he could. He wasn't trying to get me to save myself. He wasn't telling me about the plan because he didn't care about me saving me. He was just trying to get me just play. And I was like, no, I don't know who to play it for. And he was like, just what. And so that's when I realized he had more than what he was giving me, and I need to get something out of him. So tell him what I have. And he was so excited, he just blabbermouthed everything. Like,
right there. Yeah, he definitely did not keep his composure.
Oh yeah, he had to. Yeah, he just flipped right there.
So I had already picked up that Emily and Riazo were working together from before, when Emily wasn't saying Dom's name in the group of me and Mary and Riazo. Do you remember what was like episode 7 or something?
Okay, yeah.
She wouldn't say it. She wouldn't. And I was like, I thought we were supposed to be working together, and she's not saying Dom. Okay, but her and Riazo are making faces and they keep leaving at the same time. Okay, that makes sense, because if Rita and Dom are bosom buddy, then Riazo and Emily, Riazo linked back up with Emily. And as soon as he dropped your name, I was like, there it is, right there. There it is. That's it. He wants me to take out Rita, so Dom will really finish pushing me, and is down. Yeah. Is down. I gotta cut Emily. I gotta weaken him.
Dumb. So yeah, like kind of going in that retrospect, if Ashley would have taken out me, what would have been your gameplay?
Yeah, I mean, I would have kept doing what I was always trying to do, win and then conquer by that, because that's what I felt. I was just like, the whole time, if I don't have the allies there, because then it's just like they take you out, then I gotta keep. And Riazo and Emily are young, right? So it's just kind of like I gotta get the young kids, kind of to understand this play, but they don't have the psychology to understand what I need them to do. So it's just like at that point, it's been like, I need to win, but I also got to get my revenge. You know what I'm saying? Like it's you and I was riding that far, so I'm just like, I was. That's what I'm saying. Like I was taking everything. We felt that, like, that legend was with us. It was just like me and Rita was like, we're gonna ride or die for this, and I really felt that. I didn't trust everybody else on it, but I felt like you and I were ride or die. So just we have to do this.
And that was the week that he actually said, and I didn't know this, but he actually said that he was going to take Tabitha out. He could pitch to Dom to take Tabitha out, because he was thinking, take Tabitha, get me, and then he'd have Susan and Mary to work with him. I didn't know that this was what he was planning, but I knew when all that went down that he was not. Yeah, no, he's done linked up with Emily, and he's going in a different direction.
Well, and see, for me, I was not thinking towards the end game. I think it made it more of a game as soon as like my main alliance got voted out, Jason. And so I was like, hey, yeah, let's get everyone off of the Vigilantes team. Plus Susan. And we also got into that mix. And so I was like, I was not thinking towards the end game. I was like, hey, let's see how many of our teammates we can get pushed through towards the end. I was not thinking about like the long run on who I'm gonna be against if I'm like, if I was in the final 2 and like if who wants to vote who. I wasn't thinking about any of that. I was just like, hey, let's get as many people out as possible.
Right. And be loyal like how to me and Riazo and stuff are talking about like final 3s and stuff. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and I'm glad that actually ties into the Emily vote too, because I was thinking, if I vote Rita out, then on top of Dom wanting to come after me, we got all these other people. They really might band together and try to make something. I don't know, because like sometimes when you do so, I had still not talked to Tabitha fully at that time.
Yeah, she was off. She was doing something off.
Yes, and to have cut Rita, how could I explain that? See, that's the whole thing. How could I have explained cutting Rita?
Ashley, I mean, Janessa, I have faith in you.
You see what I'm saying? Like, how could I explain that to Tabitha? I can't lose Tabitha over a Rita cut. She's not my target. No, I can't. I don't have
Tabitha would listen.
No, it wasn't about that. It was about the fact that I had already figured, Tabitha had already told me that you, Emily, and Riazo had start working together while I was on the other team.
Okay.
She had already told me that. She had already told me that this was part of her alliance.
But do you think she would have been like reasonable? Like, hey, if you would have gotten me out, do you think she would have been
Um,
reasonable with that information?
yeah, up until that point, she had been, yes.
Yeah.
I
She
mean, even with
was
the
like,
Rialto vote.
yeah, it's like honestly, the wild cards in this season was Susan, Riazzo,
Mhm.
and Tabitha. Like, no one knew exactly where they stood at. I think out of the three, I definitely trusted Tabitha more, which is the crazy part. Considering the other two were from We Are Legends, but she like spoke with more conviction when she spoke. And so yeah, it was just
Oh,
like I trusted her
sorry.
more.
I blanked out. Sorry. I don't know.
Oh no, you're fine.
What'd
All
you
right,
say?
oh wait, did I cancel out?
I think I blinked out. You disappeared. Didn't hear anything.
Oh, well, I was saying like out of the three like wild cards, Tabitha, Susan, and Riazzo, I trusted Tabitha more because she
Yes.
spoke with more conviction when I
Yes.
spoke to the other two. And so that's why I was like, even though she was a wild card, it was like I could still like could put like a little bit more trust with her.
You even see her telling me, like, that was the whole thing. I knew when she flipped. I
Yeah.
knew when she was, not voting with us anymore. I
Yeah.
didn't know I didn't know before she knew. She says it, she's obviously planning it out, and then me and her have conversation where she's saying, I am working with these people over here, and then she's like,
Right.
I'm going to vote with X, Y, and Z. And so that's the
Right.
whole thing when she told me, which episode are we talking about now? Sorry, I
I
don't want
think
to.
we're talking about this current one.
8 still or 9?
It's so hard. I think it's this one. I think it's this one.
9.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So when she tells me like she's voting, Mary, and I'm like, I don't trust Rita and Dom, I'm actually saying you're about to go against, people who are not working with me. And she's saying why she has to vote Mary. And
Right.
so basically that's her telling me that she's not working with me anymore. I can't be mad about
Yeah.
her for, with her for that. Did I go and tell Mary, Tabitha's definitely voting you? No, but I did definitely let her know she's not
Yeah.
voting you. I mean, she's voting
So
you. I definitely told her that she's, not looking good for her.
my question is like, because Mary, she was very loyal to you, but she didn't really play like a super social game. Like
That girl
you
was, please, no, she was, listen, I am sitting over here and every episode, I'm like, Mary.
but how did you feel about Mary's like gameplay? How did you feel about it?
Mary, I love Mary. She rocked it from her.
Yeah.
Like, like from the edits and stuff, there's that personal stuff, like where you're just like getting to know a person, you know what I'm saying? Like the
Right.
bonding time, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
While for the first episode. And so that was the whole thing. When me and Mary talked and we got a chance to like really, bond,
Yeah.
to see her like actually out there scheming and plotting.
So funny because Mary doesn't like have like a poker face on it, but you're right. She was doing a lot more stuff than you could imagine at the same time.
Yeah.
I'd be like, Mary, I know when I talk to Mary, Mary's gonna say something, and I'm just gonna be like, okay, Mary, but I know what you're thinking, so you know.
Yes, like even when she was like, I think we could use the you and Rita confrontation conflict.
Mm-hmm.
Man, my mind was so blown. I wish I would have like fed more into that. Like, what was that idea? Yes, let's go.
Right.
I was hoping that she brought a great idea. I'm hoping she would run with it, right? Like, I'm just
Yeah.
hoping to kind of recover. Like, this is why there's a team so people can take the torch and.
Well, that's my question. Do you think that she socialized or executed a lot of her ideas, or do you think that she was very like reliant on you? As like because like you were like the leader of the vigilantes, regardless
Mary
if
is the reason that Mary is the reason that I even realized that Riazzo was playing the middle.
okay. Was she the one that told you?
No, Mary. Okay, so what was going on? what was going on? Something was going on, and I asked her. Me, her, and Riaza were in a group chat, like in one of those Shack chats, and he left. And you see me say, "Does Riaza seem weird to you?" And she said, "A little bit, and I'm like, "That's so."
But was
Because I,
that was that her intuition, or was that like, did she actually have a conversation with Riazo? Because I can't remember, to be honest.
she was in a lot of like multiple chats. Like everybody was saying, like Mary could just sit in there and people would just talk.
Yeah, absolutely. And no one would like no, and it was unfiltered.
Yeah, she would chime in though. Sometimes she would chime in with a little idea. She would bring the attention to herself, but it wasn't like anybody would think like she's actually using the information to create something.
Exactly. Right.
But she was really creating. She was putting things together. She was like figuring it out.
Well, see, and that's like, and that I think that's kind of like a more dangerous player, in my opinion, is like someone who is like kind of like putting stuff together behind the scenes. And then they kind of like throw stuff like in like a very subtle way, like consciously, like where people don't feel like it hooks you, but then it does like later on. And
No, like, but that's not that part, not the hooking part. She didn't do that part.
Yeah.
She didn't do that part. What she did for me and her, when we would communicate, when we would talk.
Okay.
We never tried to tell the other one what to do.
Okay. Right.
And I really tried not to do it with anybody. That was one of the things that I prided myself on. I would be like, well, who do you want to vote? You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I want to hear what I didn't even know sometimes who I was going to vote, but I want to share what I had, who I was going to vote, hear what they had to say. Maybe my information is compelling enough for them to go with my idea. And if it's not, they'll go with their own. And maybe might go with their idea, but that's what a team does. And so that's what I was trying to, I was trying to create a equally cohesive. I thought everybody was playing an honest game until seeing, Susan over there just throwing votes away and stuff.
Oh man, Dom. So
and I'm like supporting her. She voted Dom every time. She said it.
So now that Janessa said that, do you think that I was controlling the votes within like our alliance the entire time? Do you think that like people weren't speaking up? Like, what's your opinions on that?
And on our part of it?
Huh?
Like you said our votes?
Yeah. Yes. Like, did you think I was being like too vocal with like who we were targeting? Do you think enough people like spoke up about it? Hey, like let's target this person instead. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think once we kind of, like you said, once the Jason thing happened, it was very much about just being precise on how to, like you said, get to me. I was always thinking the end game at that point, because I'm just like,
right.
I'm my whole thought is I'm gonna win. You'll keep that part going as far as like how we need to take people out, and then we'll kind of move in those directions. Like that was very much my thought of it. It's just like that's how the communication of the team will work. Like we got to kind of play this game in a way that's just like what's going to have us get to their farm. Like, okay, we know where everybody has their strong suit, right? Like you were very much on the psychology of it, part of it. My whole thing was just like, I'm just trying to win. I'll tell people exactly what I'm thinking, and I'm gonna just, I'll let them figure it out at that point. But I'm just like, dang, everybody coming for me. So I'm just like, especially when Susan's just like, I'm gonna vote that way.
So Dom was like, yep, let's take all these votes.
I'll just deal with this and we'll see what happens at it. So I was just like, you tell me. The same thing happened with Jason. I could have spoke to Jason and said, why would we go Susan? But I was like you said, Jason was very much like you said, that military thing. And I'm just like, I'll follow that until I want to pivot and switch. But it's just kind of like at the end of it, I'm just kind of, I kept asking him still. I'm just like, Susan, really? He's like, yeah. And it's just like, I'm thinking you're going to be able to flip them too. And they came to the team. Like in my mind, I could have probably changed them, but I just felt like he thought he had it. And I was just like, if that's his conviction, I'll go with it. But at that point, I'm just like, now I have to kind of change my strategy to be like, then I'll kind of start lead when it's time. But I just felt like we kind of had to just balance each other's skill set at that point.
Right. Yeah, I mean, for Jason, like he even said it in like one of the first episodes. He was like, "Rita is me on the other side."
Yeah, he did.
So I feel
Yes, he
like in
did.
that like retrospect, like I don't know, I guess him and I had like that understanding of just like listening.
Oh, you froze. We is frozen, right? Am I chill?
Huh? No, you're not. I see you.
Okay.
Is my camera on?
Yeah, your camera's on. I see you. But Rita just
Oh,
just froze.
no, how come I don't get to see me?
You know, oh, you don't see you as you see you?
Yeah, I see everybody else, but I don't get to see me. Yeah, I
Oh,
know Rita froze. I figured since we had a break, I mean, it's probably gonna still keep running, but since she's frozen, we
yeah,
don't
it
have to
looks
talk
like it's
about
frozen,
gaming.
but she
Can
is
you?
super froze. This episode,
Yeah.
this is a scavenger.
Can
This
you see
one
my
was
camera?
so crazy because I'm just like this episode. I remember thinking like, damn, this shit is not going now. How I
You said
thought
what?
this episode, like how the gameplay was. I remember thinking like, this is not moving how I thought it was gonna go. But once we started getting that close to the end, I was just like, damn, this is now about to just.
Okay, wait. Oh, wait, because I don't even know what she's like the moderator.
Yeah, I have no idea what happened just now.
So
I know.
I don't want to mess up that. I have to send another invite. Okay, so we need to hang up. Do we?
Okay,
I don't
is that
know.
what
I
happened?
don't
And
know.
she says,
Wait, what do we do? She's
I don't
huh?
know. Is
Hold
she
on.
did she just text? Oh, she just text.
Um.
Oh, she's gonna send another.
Yes, we wait.
Okay, so she's gonna send a new invite.
Huh?
She gonna send a new invite.
No, no, just wait. She said, just wait, just wait. She says she thinks she can get back in.
Okay, so she's the host.
Sorry, guys. That is the first time
Donald
that's
was
ever happened.
trying. He was trying to continue talking about the episode, but I was like, he's not gonna know when to stop me, so we need to wait for Rita because I don't want. No, we gotta wait for the moderator. She's the moderator because
Well, I
yeah.
think we're still recording, so we're good. I am so sorry. I think my app like randomly updated on here. That was weird.
Apple is
Oh,
so like that.
oh my God. But anyways, yeah, so Jason, like going back to what I was saying, Jason was like saying like we were the same and like so I think him and I had that understanding of listening to each other. Bro, what is going on right now?
Okay, I was like, did you just flip again?
I don't know what's going on right now. This is like weird. It's like not wanting to load today. Okay, can you guys hear me? Can you hear
Yeah, I
me?
can see you.
Yes.
Okay. I'm like, oh my God, computer. But anyway, so yeah, I feel like he would have listened if, if like someone would have like come to him. But again, he even like admits his like faults and like that whole little
Mhm.
orchestrative thingy. So
Yeah, I know. I was like, oh, Jason, look at you. Thank you, Jason. I knew you would understand. I love you, Jason.
you
Thank
would
you.
understand. So yeah, so let's start watching this because I don't know
Yeah.
what's going on. My computer right now is being a little wonky. And then So how we kind of go through it is like we do watch some of the episode and then we will like kind of gradually like fast forward through some of it just depending on like what's like being displayed. But at any time if you want if you want me to pause on anything to like comment on anything, feel free to just like stop. So,
Okay, just
yeah.
okay. Thank you.
Let's see. My computer's not cracky.
The next vote is for Ashley. The next vote is, I actually forgot. For Ashley.
I didn't think that there was gonna be another vote against Ashley. So I figured with where Susan was kind of put out with the Tabitha thing, it felt like a way to have leverage. So it's just like, you know what, I gotta cut this one way or the other. So I figured if this is the time now that everyone's kind of ganged up, that I can ensure that's gonna happen. I definitely didn't think there was gonna be another vote for Ashley. So that was my thinking, was just like, let's go with the safe bet, because I only thought if I did, it would be just me and Rita, because I didn't think anybody else was against her that way.
Susan, you have been voted out.
Tabitha made a compelling argument because at first, every time Tabitha asked about who voted me, who voted the one vote, and at first, man, I watched it, like these kind of games all the time, and I didn't realize how serious one random vote was. But when it came down to it, and Susan's like, "Oh yeah, I voted for you 3 times." Wait, what? Like we're supposed to be working with Tabitha. We've been. What? Why have you been? Like I really want to. And we're like literally down in crunch time. I only had 3 options: Mary, Susan, and Tabitha.
Nope, see you at the end.
What flashed in my mind was when she told me that she would work with me as long as she could. It was Susan's time. Like what she had told me, I had gone with her as far as I could.
And Susan, have a plan.
Bye.
Susan. Yeah.
That was hard.
But probably like right at the end, because I was just like, you know what, finally I wanted to get that out. I was like, Susan.
Oh yeah, so that's a question for you. How would you have felt if Susan would have actually executed you getting out if she would have used her switch a vote?
Right, and I think that's probably
Because I didn't think, that's why I said that how I said it. I did not think that was gonna go that way. Because that's why I was just like, I know whenever it's like vote for Ashley, I'm just like, I won't have the numbers. That's what that's what I was thinking strategically. I'm like, Susan has put herself on this shield that now everybody sees. She damn near pushed herself out. So I'm like, I know that Mary or Ashley will go that way because they'll have to be thinking about what's more important to their alliance. Because now you can't trust Susan.
Dom was finally like, I can get my target. And me and Susan were his targets, and he was like, yes, it's finally time. I got the numbers. Let's get her. And you know, the whole thing was this. Susan kept on pushing that advantage. Remember, she said, I have it for you. You can use it. I didn't want any of her things. I really didn't want her indebted to me. I just needed a way to make it further from that team and, you know, to be a vigilante and get out the military. I needed her to get me out. You know what I'm saying? And so I took that opportunity. And when she said that she was voting, she was basically just throwing her votes at somebody we were working with that I'm going to bat for you. I'm telling Tabitha, you hear Tabitha saying, I know Ashley said that Susan's with me, but I don't trust her. I wasn't even listening to Tabitha because, well, one, I had heard Muggsy and Tabitha, you know, she was kind of right. Tabitha was, you know, she was going where she felt was a better opportunity. And that's not a bad gameplay. It's just, I could see that. So when she came and she was saying, I don't trust Susan, I'm believing Susan, so I'm willing to believe Susan. I'm willing to go to bat for Susan against Tabitha. And you see that on there. You see that on there. I'm going up against Tabitha for Susan. I'm saying, no, Tabitha, it is Dom. It is not Susan. I'm literally, you cannot tell me that Susan is voting you. We're all working together. I'm saying this. I'm literally telling my supposed, I told Riazo that him and Tabitha were my final three. I am literally
Yeah.
telling one of my final three that Susan is worth believing, and Susan is lying this entire time, y'all. Like that
Yes.
really, I took that to heart. Like, man,
Mhm.
come on,
Yeah.
you're messing with my game. You're messing with my game. You're messing with my
Yeah.
game.
Well, and see, and that's like why, like, I know that's why I couldn't trust her with gameplay after that, because of like her and I never built an alliance, so that's like why I was like I didn't take it offense that she was like not really working with me. But when she took out Jason, that's when I was like, damn, I was like, she actually
Yeah,
liked Jason. So I was like, what happened there? And so yeah, that's
exactly. And see, if she had even said that she wanted to vote Tabitha, I would have been like, okay, yeah, we can do that. But later on, when we don't need to vote with her anymore,
right.
because I had, like I said, I had already pegged that Tabitha was going to, switch and be one of those people, and that was okay. I'm not upset about it. But when
Yeah.
before the merge, when we switched teams, everyone knows in these games there's a possibility that you may not be working with that person when you get back to them.
Right. Right.
And that was a
Exactly.
very big possibility. So I wish Susan would have came and said, "Hey, I really would like to get Tabitha out." Okay, Susan, that might be on the table, but right now we gotta at least look, uniform. At least that I would know that she was, throwing these votes, and I wouldn't have pushed so hard to Tabitha that Susan was trustworthy, and Tabitha wouldn't have jumped so quickly
Yeah.
once Susan
Yeah.
was proven to be dishonest.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. It was just so crazy how Riazzo and then Susan got voted out like
Yeah,
back to
yeah.
back. So
Mhm.
And it
Yeah.
furthered your pawn theory, but you can see they weren't. I was going to bat for each and every person on that team. Literally,
right.
I was going to bat for everybody.
Right. Yeah, I mean, for me, it's like if they would have come to like me or Dom, like Riazzo or Susan, how came to me and Dom and been like, hey, there's no hard feelings, blah 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 blah. We still want to work with you. Like I know I probably would have trusted them.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, Dom. Like I definitely probably would have trusted them, but like they never came to us with that kind of like strategic gameplay. And it was like always like I have to prove my loyalty to Susan or Riazzo. And I'm like, well, what have they done to proven themselves to me? So I'm like, I'm like,
Wait a
Mhm.
minute. That is so
yeah,
hilarious. We're literally saying we're looking at the same side. We're looking at two sides of the same coin. Literally, Leah.
exactly.
I'm
Exactly.
saying that they talked to me.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
listened. They pitched ideas. It wasn't like
Yep.
they couldn't talk to me, but yet they didn't talk to me at all.
Right.
Mhm.
And you're saying they should have talked to me, and
Right.
I would have let them come back and work with me, but they
Right.
weren't really trying to work with anyone.
Exactly. And so
Right.
that's why it was like a no one's bad in this scenario. It was just like
Yeah.
we all had our own like little gameplay at this point,
Mhm.
and we
Mhm.
kind of chose who we wanted to work with, and that
Yeah,
was
It's
what we were
exactly right.
going through.
it is. That's so amazing, man. I love it.
So just like that to me was just like,
That is for me too. I was just like, what? She even lied to me?
why is she blind? That's what-
Yeah, because I mean, I never once
Oh,
thought
he's lying.
so why like I was
And then Nick dips out. Yep, this is a good point
I
to go.
know. Nick is a savage in this season.
Yes.
He gets all the good questions asked.
The final five.
Oh,
All right. Five.
like one finger head.
Tonight, I hope you all are ready for a little scavenger hunt in your house.
Oh,
Great.
I'm not at home, so I don't know how well this would be.
It'll be rough.
It was Deborah home.
Well, no, like I kind of am and I'm not. I'm staying in a cabin right now, but it's not like my own. It's like
I
an
was
Airbnb,
surprised I was
so-
home.
None of
You should have some items, you might not know where they are, so that might. So I'm gonna be giving an item. If you're the first person to return with the item, you get 3 points. If you're the second person, you get 2 points. If you're the third person, you get 1 point. Obviously, after that, you get no points.
Oh no.
There is the first item, any kind of candle.
oh God. I don't
I had to go up, down the stairs. It's
There's
it.
first-
Rita, you had the candle just ready.
Listen, I have
I
that
was gonna-
candle already, but what in the world? An iron? I was like, Nick, you know,
Right, right.
you know
This
I
is
got a fucking
2024.
iron.
We was just talking about
My
iron.
mom has 3 kids. I'm the baby, but every time, like when people move out, like when we moved out, she gives you got to have an iron. My friends have had housewarming parties, and she's always like, go buy them an iron and an iron board. Everybody's house needs an iron and an
Yeah.
iron board. So I'm like, okay, mom. So as soon as he said iron, I'm like, I'm so glad I never told my mom no.
Right.
She's like, I had one. Thanks, Mom.
Ashley is second. And Dom is
Oh, man.
third.
I don't have any candle whatsoever.
I don't use an iron, by the way.
Here is item number 2. Return with any brand of toothpaste.
I hope like one of my sons, but yeah.
Mom is
And I don't know whose I grabbed. I got like 15,000. I'm like, freshman.
second. And Rita is third.
Some of this stuff I had to deliberately go downstairs for too, which was
My
so
son's room was
annoying.
there, and then I had to go downstairs, and it's like them stairs. I started getting tired.
Bro,
I was like,
I
this
was
is
and I
tired.
was like, I think I was like I was like gonna slip one time too, and I was
Mhm.
like, not worth
I
it.
ran down the stairs. I'm like, fuck this. I'm like, I ain't even running no more. So I was just like, I ain't got time for this.
I know.
I was like slingshotting myself through that. I grabbed the doorway and sling myself.
It was really tie at 4 points between Ashley, Dom, and Rita. All right, here is the next item. A flashlight.
Oh, man.
Can it be a phone flashlight?
Has
Bro.
to be a- it has to
I
be a
heard
real
someone.
Like, who got like an actual flashlight? Like that's what I'm saying.
I
Like
know.
at my ex,
How many-
yes, but like I don't with
I
the
had a
kids.
headphone.
I did. The crazy part is I used to have like a hanging, like little tiny flashlight, and I don't know what I did with that thing.
I
was
think I
like,
would have to run to my car to grab like a flashlight, like you know what I'm saying, like something in like the thing. I'm like, I ain't doing all that. This is
I know.
I go to the car. I gotta go down the stairs. Like,
Does this count?
Ashley was first, Mary is second.
Oh no, I got headphones on. I thought about the phone flashlight when someone said it.
You're still looking for a third place.
Oh man,
Because I came
it
back
doesn't
quick.
even
didn't
move.
I?
Tabitha's sitting there
Oh.
chilling.
Ashley, you killed. Or I'm sorry, Janessa, you killed this game. Like you literally, like you were
Yeah.
on point.
Yeah, you had everything.
The
I think the
entire
school thing was
time.
just like, I was just like, you gonna have all them items.
I
Was that the
know.
game?
I was looking at a book. I'm like, where'd I go? What? I should have been
Mhm.
back already. Like, how- but my house is so like the rooms are kind of like big, so I had so far to go.
Mhm.
I was like getting tired, and I don't really run often around here, and I
Yeah,
had the house
I
shoes
was
on. Like
running.
Rita said, like she said, I almost slipped a couple times. I was scared.
Yeah, I
But-
was like, I did not feel like dying for this game, so
Right, exactly. There ain't no
Man.
insurance. We ain't got no vouchers. We ain't no
I
waivers.
know.
Exactly.
I'm a competitor. I want to show my competitive streak. I knew my butt was on the line.
Alright.
Yeah, right.
Ashley takes the lead with 7 points. Okay, the next item. Any book, has to be a book, it can be a magazine. Dawn was first, Tabitha second, Rita third.
A
You were close, Mary,
little
but-
tiny point.
Yeah, like, where did I go?
Yeah, this one was a game.
I don't know if anybody's. Well.
Yeah, it was.
The next item is a puzzle piece.
Oh, you got a puzzle
Man.
piece, damn.
Definitely don't.
It'll
My
never
son,
happen
everything
again.
about son, I was just like, let me grab that.
It'll never happen again.
That's funny.
Puzzle piece.
I'm like, I have a Lego. Does that count?
Right.
Oh,
I don't like puzzles because pieces get all over the floor. You know, they did. My
Right.
kids were toddlers recently,
Right.
Actually finds a puzzle piece.
I wonder if you could cut out a piece.
I was like, stop looking. You haven't seen a puzzle around here in ages.
I don't keep puzzles in the house because they always end up in pieces. And no.
Dom takes the lead with 10 points.
About to make a cardboard puzzle piece for next.
Right.
Either matches or a lighter.
Oh, here.
Who said that?
I was like, shit, I got that. Way to pull out the big one.
Listen, I got all those candles, bro.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh
The
man.
next item is an egg.
I had to go all the way downstairs for
Downstairs.
this.
It's like I'm getting tired, Nick. Like this, I thought this was too many rounds for this game. Or so your kitchen must be close. Cause I'm like, shit, I gotta.
Nah, or yeah, Ashley, yeah, because I was like, bro, I had to run all the way downstairs. I was gonna slip. I was like,
I
this
ran
is
down the
not-
stairs, but I'm like, I'm getting tired now, Nick. Like I'm thinking, like, how many rounds about to go? Like, I'm like, this is-
know.
I was to sit down every time.
Rita takes the lead with 12.
Oh man,
Will Rita have an egg?
got a whole carton.
you brought the whole cart. You didn't even. You like, dang, I ain't gonna take this one. That's just funny.
Oh man.
The next item, a toilet paper roll.
Actually, so you had to roll.
Yeah, when the school
See, I
sends
don't- see, I
toilet
must
paper
not-
rolls
see,
to school.
I felt like I didn't go to Walmart that day or something because I'm like, why don't I got toilet paper?
I had to find something in the craft cabinet.
Yeah.
The next item is hand sanitizer.
I didn't have that either.
I think I had that.
Agatha's first.
I
Ashley's second,
think I had some in the car.
Eric third.
Keep a bottle in our living room, dining room, and the kids' room.
The next item is an iron.
An
Sounds
arm.
like, oh hell no.
I know.
You see, everybody look at the face
He
like,
got up.
hell to the no.
Pamela should have had
said-
one in the Airbnb or something. What was it? She should have had an iron there, right?
Oh,
The-
Yeah, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Usually you have that stuff, right? Like the
yeah.
He could have said
Well-
dryer sheet though. He
right,
could have
yeah.
laundry detergent.
Yes, that's funny. Ah, I needed that. I was man. Yes, I needed that. I needed that iron.
That was so funny. Did you say thank you, Mama?
Yes,
Mm.
thank you to my mama. And my-
I think he's the
Oh
only one
man.
catch Ashley at this point. Right, so the next item is a coffee mug.
my grandma was giving me a bunch of coffee mugs.
Tabitha first place.
Don't drink coffee.
Ashley second place.
It's literally fill out what I thought.
I mean, is this considered a coffee mug?
Yes, I will count it.
They got that just before it got a little dicey. I was just like, I'm gonna win this. And they were just like, oh my gosh. But there's all these shit that you're asking for.
That's exactly how I sort of feel. I was like,
What's left, congratulations, Ashley, you have won immunity for this round.
Man,
this is a big immunity I thought too.
Still with the spirit, I'm just like, I'm over the moon. This is really happening, you know, that I finally got it when I really needed it the most. Not for the game, but also for life, I needed that.
Right?
seriously,
The little trick.
needed a win.
I'm happy for him. Because obviously it's gonna be 2-2. They're trying to figure out if they have a third person to make a play, I guess. I'm sure that everybody's probably going to go for me because it seemed like when Don was always on the top block, he got the idol when he needed it. And now, you know, I was really on the top block. I believe I was next.
Tabitha said last episode she was coming for me.
Did she?
Oh,
I didn't know that.
It's either the last one or this one. But she
She said-
basically
She said she was
Huh?
coming for you?
yes,
but
she says to Dom, I believe it was to Dom, she said I plan on cutting her.
Oh, I don't
I can
remember
remember
that.
that. Yeah.
Yes.
Huh.
Maybe it's further. Sorry, maybe it's further in this episode. Cause I was
Okay.
like, dang, she was already She was already flipping.
I feel like from
Yeah.
a psychological standpoint, once I got Tabitha to see that Susan was in, I'm like, I can kind of now have Tabitha kind of move how I wanted to move. Because that was the whole
Mhm.
part of it. It was just like Tabitha needs reassurance of what she's always
Mhm.
kind of not had. And I'm like,
Mhm.
that's
Yeah,
all
I
I'm
think that's what it was, is she did need
Mhm.
that reassurance. And
Mhm.
like, and she felt, I know, like when we had the conversation the night that you and I were safe, Dom, it was
Mhm.
like, I was like, I didn't know who exactly was being voted, but I was like, you logically have to think about it for a second. I was like, it's
Mhm.
either you, Riazo, or Susan that may
Mhm.
get voted. So I'm like, and I was like, I don't
Mhm.
know which way they're gonna swing, but I'm like,
Mhm. Mhm.
you have to think about that. So yeah, I guess she did kind of like need like that reassurance that she was like
Mhm.
looking for.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
Week, let's look in on the jury and what's been happening with them.
is it going?
You know,
Yeah.
I'm thinking of all the what ifs and signs I missed and
Mhm.
looking back at it, thinking of all the things I could have done, but
Oh.
overall, I did my best and it is what it is.
That was hard for me. I liked Emily.
So,
Like, it's hilarious. Maybe you froze. And the screen froze.
I can hear you. Well, I'll say I honestly, yeah, that the Emily, that was hard for me. That was hard for me because I liked Emily, and I felt like I was kind of like pushed, because I just was dropped a bomb of my name's on the block. You know what I'm saying? And then vote for who I want you to vote for. And okay, I don't know if I can trust you, and you're telling me to vote this person, and now I'm being like, I had to pivot. Because you hear me say in the beginning of the episode, I didn't want to vote Emily. I wasn't going to say her name.
That was the craziest part with Emily had her idol. That's the same thing where I'm just like, how would that have changed all of that to me? Because I just felt like after these people, oh, they have their idols. I'm like, you better use it before you don't be able to use it.
Exactly.
See what happened to Rita again. I think she just
Yeah, she said she's sorry. I'm just telling her we're just talking about Emily.
yeah, that was to me, that was like the most strategic play because I think Emily got so caught up with Riazo that I'm like, she didn't even realize that. And so looking back, and I felt like Emily kind of put herself in that way. Like she kind of started saying things where I'm like, Emily, you can't you're not seeing that. You just kind of stay under the radar. I think she put herself on the radar at the same time to where she didn't even forgot and trusted him. And then when Riazo did his part, I really trusted Riazo for a while. And then I'm like, damn, Riazo is just playing. And I'm just like, he's just like, like I felt like he was like a child at the son. I was like, this is that son where he's gonna be doing things, but you kind of just like him, so you just kind of let him do how he does. So I was just like, that's exactly how Riazo was. And then when he threw himself there, I'm like, Riazo's got to be the vote because shit, he's doing everything to where it's just like everybody's pointing at that point.
Well, even Susan was saying that Riazo needed to be the vote. But then she turns around and says, and then doesn't even vote him.
Yeah.
I don't
What's
know.
the
I just
crazy
thought
thing about Susan? Susan
that
was
was
always
wild.
either voting one way or not. It's just like Susan was.
But everybody says I was controlling Susan, but Susan was never voting the way I was voting.
What was the craziest part of Susan? Susan was saying she was that, and then she just started, and then I was just like, dang, Susan just like, fuck it, I just want to do this kind of vote. And it's just like, I don't even know what was her play for that. She's just like, I'll just vote you because Maxie said it, so fuck it. I think that's gonna happen.
Also letting people believe that I'm controlling her vote.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And her vote is never what me and even Mary are even talking about.
Right.
That's why some of the numbers, I'll be like, how in the hell did these votes come like this?
I'm not even stumped. I'm like,
yeah, I was like, these numbers don't add up based on like you said, the alliances to be like, well, I figured that many people vote, but I'm just like, there's got to be somebody who's just doing their own thing.
I need somebody like that on my team, somebody who could take the numbers and run the numbers really quick. Like, man, my
That's all I
kids,
was
they run
doing.
the
I was
numbers.
just like, the math ain't mathing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I couldn't because I was strategizing. You can't strategize like the math part, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm doing the strategy, I'm doing the votes. I can't run back on votes that didn't fall the way I thought they were going to fall because this game is still moving forward. And I have learned in
Yeah.
life, like, I can't keep looking back too many times because forward is still coming too fast. You know what I'm saying? I needed the whole 5 was missing that person who could run the numbers.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. My computer keeps crashing for some reason tonight. I guess I'm gonna take this
See
thing.
you, yeah. I'm just like, this is different.
I know. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, no, I feel like for as far as like the numbers go, that's what always was going back in my mind, like logically, hey, do we have the numbers to vote out people? And so that's like, you know,
You
that's
guys were
why I
too
was like,
numbers heavy.
what's
You
that?
run numbers, so you guys were too like number heavy. Like you and
Yeah.
Dom run numbers.
Yeah.
Emily was running numbers too.
Yeah. We were all very logical on and analytical, like definitely on the team.
You needed some more strategists. We had the strategists. We were moving pieces, and you know what I'm saying.
Mhm.
And we didn't have enough number of people.
Right. Oh, come on,
That's
computer.
funny, and that's when we got mixed. When we got mixed, we got I think we got mixed in that way. Some of the number of people went with the strategists, and the other ones went with the other ones, and see how those ones interact. And now put them all back together and see if they can go back to their original formulas, or are they going to create new ones?
I'm letting you play.
I think
Really?
she's gone again.
She is out.
But that's the thing I love about these social experiments, because that's what they are. You know, see how people socially interact.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, that's the name of the game. They're social games.
It's exactly
So-
the social part of it is the, like I said, the social and psychology
Is the
part of it
board
that
part.
really is the part that brings it all together. And I
Yeah.
think like that's what makes it so interesting at the same time. It's just like
All
how
right,
do you
Sorry.
now
Freaking
you on that phone now.
Yeah, I'm on my phone. I don't know what the hell is going on my computer right now. Let's see.
Technology, gotta love it.
Right. Can you do it? I mean, I can.
Let me see, man. I don't know.
I'll try to pull it up and share the screen too if you can.
Okay, yeah. Maybe if you can do it on your end, because I'm
Okay.
recording right now, but my computer is a mess, apparently. Dang.
What?
Freaking Apple products.
Apple is like is the gift and the curse sometimes.
For real. I'm just like, this has never happened before.
What part of this show are we at? Like, what's the time?
I think we are. I don't know that it does. I can't see it, but it's right when they get into the jury.
Okay.
So it's like it's like that little like cabin.
Okay. Like that.
Okay, here we go.
You can see my screen, right?
Oh yeah, I can see it. That's cool. Can you hear anything?
I can't.
I can't either. I
What
can't hear
happened?
anything. I can't hear anything on your end, Dom.
Okay, it's on. Can you hear me now? Let me see.
I can hear
You-
you. Yeah, I think the recording I'm having a hard time hearing. Let me see if I'm gonna reset my computer one more time. Oh my god, I don't really want to do this. I guess
I can hear it on my side. I don't. So
You can hear it on your side.
Yeah. Let me hit. Now hit share sound. Let me see if that.
New sound.
I've had one of those.
I think I hear it.
So cool. I need to learn how to make those.
You can hear that.
Yes.
You can hear the episode.
I hear that.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. Well, you had predicted
Wait,
that I was
Rita?
gonna get Rita, but I mean, I think
Oh.
that
There she is. There she is.
Can you see me?
Yeah, we can
Yes.
see you. I just want
Okay.
you can hear the episode?
I turned on mute.
Oh shit.
Oh no, I
Either
can't. Now I can. Okay, I
Rita
got it.
and Dom had planned this. The whole Ashley thing was a fake out, or it got back to Dom and Rita that I was talking, throwing out Dom's name. But I made that so clear in the Shack chat with Rita. I mean, Dom and Riazzo both present. I said I've been lying to everybody. I'm going to vote Ashley. So there's no reason he should have viewed that as an actual threat. Like, you should know that I'm not actually going around spreading your name. So after you went out, Rita and Dom were kind of working together, and we had discussed, like, okay, what's next? And Rita was like, I want Ashley out. Like, that's the plan. We're getting Ashley out. And I was like, okay, that's fine by me. I think she wants me out too. I mean, I think
because they fought that night, right?
Yeah, they did. And so Rita was like, yeah, I want Ashley out. And I was like, okay, word. And so I was going around, like, I had one-on-ones with, like, Ashley and Mary. And it's like, okay, you can't tell the person you're targeting.
Dom, pause
hey,
for a
I'm
second.
going to vote you out.
Yeah.
Did I say it so like aggressively?
I mean, in a way, I think it was very understood. Aggression may be I think it was just the conviction was it. There was conviction behind it. Like, this is what our target is. And it was just like, yeah, we have to do it now. Because it just felt like, when will we have the opportunity now with what? Because it felt like, actually, you were the like, if it was the chess piece, you're the queen. We just need to take that out and then all the soldiers will fall. That's exactly how I felt with that too.
It was definitely that, again, that, like I said, that was another reason why I couldn't take Rita out, because Rita had everyone focused on me when I wasn't even the one moving the pieces. Everyone else was calling the shots.
Right. Well, I think the focus was on you because of the whole Jason thing again.
It was, and that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
I was glad for it.
Because we felt Susan was just like, Susan gonna do whatever you say. But like you said, in hindsight, Susan was doing what the fuck she wanted to do.
Yes.
Right.
Even Mary was voting, like, really wanted to vote Dom, and I'm just like, oh, they were willing to change on a vote that was the whole thing. They were willing to change if I seen something and a reason for us to change. And I was saying, I see something, but I don't have enough information to back it up. So just do what you feel like you need to do. Just you vote for who you want to vote for. You feel like you want to vote for Dom, vote for Dom. You feel like you want to vote for so-and-so, vote for so-and-so. Because when I wasn't sure about what I was sensing, I didn't want nobody following me and changing their votes and then upset with me that their game didn't go the way they wanted it to.
Right.
And that's why I couldn't have Rita or anybody else focusing on the people that I had surrounded myself with, because basically it kind of was like a little float. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're all on this, but they're like the buoys. And I'm just telling them which way we need to go on. Okay, you guys want to vote Dom? Okay, yep, voting Dom is a good idea. I don't see any dangers over there voting Dom. That's not a bad idea. Yep. Or I don't know if that's a good idea. You might want to rethink that. Better check in. Like I told Mary, go check in with Jason. Go check in with Kai and see how you feel. See what you're picking up on them, and see if I'm wrong or I'm right. And she'd go and she'd get a feel for them and come back like, I see what you're saying. I do sense it. You're right. There's something there.
Right.
So, yeah.
That's funny. It's funny because, like, I feel like Emily, I don't know if she was like I don't know if she was like for actually voting for you or against voting for you, but I don't think she like really expressed it that much. And I think had she would have expressed it a little bit more, like, hey, let's wait to vote her, then I definitely like would have listened, and I would have been like, hey, okay, so like then what's our next strategy? But
but this is the thing though, and you see me mention it about Emily, and I didn't even know it. You see me say that she's trying to do like smoke and mirrors with me. I said at one point, and that was not a personal thing on Emily. What it was is I didn't know, but when I watched when it started airing and I found out that she went to school for psychology, that's what I was picking up on. She was using her skills on me. And I seen her using her skills on me. And I was like, this young girl is over here thinking she's using her skills on me. And I can see what she's doing.
Riazzo was, using his little skills too.
Yeah.
Rialzo,
Yeah.
see, and that was the whole thing. We looked at him like Tabitha said, like a little brother, a little, a kid
Mhm.
brother, and so it was cute. Rialzo over here, look, he's trying to like roar like a lion. That's so cute. And then you're like, he's actually scratching shit. Can I, that's
He's there.
I was like,
He's that. Get sit down. Exactly. It's just like,
he
come on.
was really doing stuff. He was really
Mhm.
scratching people. He was
He
like,
was making things.
nicking people and
Yeah.
creating issues like real life issues.
I know. And I know, and I didn't even know he like until I saw this air, I had no idea that he looked at me as like this big threat. And like I think that took me for like a loop, like when I first saw it. I was like, he was supposed to be on our team.
And he wanted to cut us. I think he felt with me and you. He's just like, I need to break that up. If I
I
break that up,
know.
Dom's gonna just do his thing, and then I'll be able to have like I think his thing was he'll have Susan and Emily, and then he'll maybe to flip something. I think that's what his play was. He just got
Yeah.
caught too many. He set too many traps that he damn near got caught in his own maze.
Exactly.
He definitely did.
Go for it, Dom.
You to like avoid suspicion.
Seems to work
you
out
throw
better
a
right
fake
now.
name. And so I was like, yeah, maybe we should get out like a big competitor, like while they aren't immune, like maybe we should do something like that. And so Mary had kind of leaned towards like, she kind of gave me some information. She was like, yeah, we're thinking kind of Dom. And so I was like, okay, I'll run with that. I was like, okay, yeah, Dom, yeah, whatever. Bullshitting, right? And so up until the day of tribal council, like in the shack chat, we're all talking like the plan's still good, everyone's still good. And what I'm guessing happened is that like last minute somebody was like, Emily's campaigning against Dom, and they took that to heart and were like, oh shit, okay, let's flip on Emily. But it's like I told them right before tribal, I know it for a fact, I told Dom because Riaza was there too. I was like, I've been bullshitting to everybody about my vote this week. I'm still on board with voting out Ashley, and they were like, yeah, we're good.
I really don't have a feeling. Like, I knew it was gonna
Dom,
happen.
pause again. Sorry.
I knew they were gonna turn on her.
So, first of all, Muggsy is too emotional. And I think she just likes the drama.
He actually loves it.
Low key. Because, like, for me, I think that was the crazy part of episode 9 is Emily thought that we turned on her. And I was like,
crazy.
yeah, bro. Like, we weren't even, like, remotely even thinking that. And I'm actually, like, I'm very happy that Riaza cleared the air. Because that was just like that was good on his part because I was like,
And you had an icon.
I'm like, well, how would you even think that we were like targeting you or against you? And do you remember like ever hearing anything that Emily was like trying to vote you?
Oh, and if she did, I was never thinking like it was. Until I saw the
Serious.
episode, I was just like that. I was just like, I know what Emily was trying to do, but I'm just like,
Right.
I don't think Emily, like you said, I think her trying to do the psychology, she didn't understand like there's this age difference that she's not there yet, right? Like you said, the young pups have to understand,
Yeah.
follow the lead.
Get back to the kid table. That's my
Exactly,
family, and our family. And our family is like, get back to the kid table.
Exactly. This is Thanksgiving. You sit at the kids' table, we're gonna be at the grown folks table. And that's exactly how I felt with him. Riaza was really good at that. I think he's like, you could tell he can maneuver in some things, but it's just like Emily. It's just like Emily, just stick to what we were just saying and you'll ride this out. And I think like you said, she felt intimidated a little bit. And then I think she tried so hard to go left that I think she went too far in that. That's what I think gave you Janessa the ammo to do it.
Her left was trusting Riazo from the get-go.
Yes.
And like she definitely had more trust in him than we had in him at that point. And I think like the only reason why we really trusted him was because of her. And then as soon as she got voted out, we were just like, nope.
Yep.
But also and now that you mentioned that, that was the whole thing. She would have had Riazo, and Riazo would have, I believe, well, he said he was trying to work with, did he say Mary and Susan or Mary and Emily? Was it Mary and Susan?
Yeah.
I think it was Susan. I know Susan was part of that because he had worked with Susan in the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay, because he was willing to ride with Emily further than anybody else out of me, you, and Dom.
Oh, yeah,
and this is how you know, because he was trying to find his final two. He was starting to think final two. And when Emily came to him and was like, you know, Dom and Rita have each other, he was thinking that he was about to at least have Emily, but when Emily wouldn't pull away and vote with him, he knew there was no possible way for him to ever be on top. Like she said, let's be the top over here while they think that we're not the top. He knew that they would not, they would not be at the top. And so that's when,
Well, and looking back too, I didn't realize like I didn't realize like Riaza thought like we were so intimidating. Like I was just like, I thought we were all like at neck with each other at that point. I didn't look at anyone as like a lesser or a higher than anyone else. And so it was just like, man, like I feel like, yeah, again, if he would have like come to me and like talk to me, oh, like definitely I would have like given him that trust, but it never happened. So
yeah, I don't know, but if you now like in saying that, it was earlier episodes where he actually said he put me as a big player. He put me, you, and I think Dom from the beginning. Jason, from the beginning, he said that we were big players. Right. So for real, at that point, I was Riazo's target. He just hadn't voiced it.
Right. Yeah. Man, Rumpelstiltskin.
Young Ray.
My favorite character. I just mentioned him too. I literally just mentioned him to the kids earlier.
That's funny.
It is funny. He must die.
Because she was the weakest link out of the three.
And then at the Charm Council,
did you have a one-on-one with Riaza?
I did.
What did he say?
So he was kind of in the middle, you know, like Mary, Susan, Ashley, and Tabitha are working together, and then it was me, Dom, and Rita. And so if Riaza went on our side, then it would be even 4-4, but he was kind of in the middle. I don't think Riaza voted for me, but I know that he was like kind of iffy. He was on the middle.
I don't know. He was like I'm not on the game anymore, so I don't give a shit. But he lasted you guys all out and was like, they're kicking you out tonight. He's like, don't tell anybody they're kicking you out. But then it went into like, do I trust you or do I not trust you? Like, do I trust you for telling me and like going against everyone else? But then I was like, you made the last vote, so you voted against me too.
Yeah, so it's like,
I don't trust you.
I don't know why she said Riazo, because I'm sitting here hoping like someone like Rita or Dom comes out next. But I don't know. And maybe for that reason, like because I feel betrayed by them, she maybe feels betrayed by Riazo.
Yeah, I'm pissed because
Muggsy, did you see her when and Emily's just ready to just get it all told?
Say that again.
I said Muggsy is a trip because she was like, so what happened and what's next? And you know, and Emily is just like, she hadn't even thought about these things. Like she's like, Muggsy's kind of like having her like start setting there it is.
Right.
And I think Muggsy was fun to play with, but Muggsy just was so.
She was so much fun, and the crazy part is like I didn't realize how paranoid she was from the beginning, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, dang.
That was the hardest thing. Like, you're right. I think I could have switched Muggsy, but I'm like, I don't know when I'll not be able to trust her because she'll just flip in a second.
I want to work with her too, but she was such a wild card. I was just like, I can't.
feel like everybody understood. It's just like I think it was just like that was where it felt like both teams had the understanding. Like Muggsy's kind of just gotta go.
Well, it was a lot of projection, wasn't it? It was just like it was like, oh, we can't, she couldn't trust this person, like Tabitha, and didn't really have a valid reason as to why at first.
Well, listen, she wasn't completely wrong, but the problem was the problem was Muggsy, there's a time and a place for this stuff, honey. Like this is a game. I need you to keep it together, but that like that's her personality, and and that's the thing. Like I really would have. I mean, that's not a personal text. She says it. She's a New Yorker. I say it. My mom that they were raised it. That's just you. You take it. Even when she was telling Riazo, you voted for me. I understand where she's coming from. Anyways, it's coming.
But see, her being a New Yorker, that doesn't bother me. I mean, like, I have friends from New Jersey. Like,
no,
girl,
not talking about calling people names and stuff. Not that part. That is a whole different thing. But like
Yeah.
the bluntness,
Yes.
you know,
Yeah,
not
and
to-
I
Yeah,
like
there's
I
a level of tact that they just don't always have.
but I
About
think
the
that
same
was
way.
like I think that was just an insecurity within her because honestly, like a lot of us were loud throughout this. Like I know I was loud as hell. And Jason was a loud player. Like, I mean, there was loud people throughout this whole season. So I'm like, that was just like
And
kind of relevant.
really, if you stop and look at it, she was the most the projection part. She was the most attackful when
Yes.
her name was up on the block, and that's
Yes.
the whole thing. She was trying to create a bigger smoke on someone else's name so that she
Right.
could get from up underneath the target, and that's
Exactly.
that's that was part of the gameplay, you know, but it backfired against her.
Yeah. Mugsy.
I know I wanted to work with her, but she couldn't.
Like how Susan left after, like she literally could have made a move and got Ashley out, and then we would have had majority. We could have got like Tabitha or Mary out at 6, would have been still in the game. But yeah, you know, I tried my best. It was fun.
You voted against me.
I didn't orchestrate it though.
What?
I didn't orchestrate your elimination.
You voted
did.
against me.
I tried to save you.
You don't switch a subject.
Anyways,
No,
did
I
you watch
voted-
the Tribal Council, Muggsy? Did you tune in for that last night?
No, I went to bed.
Oh, you missed out. It was
That was crazy.
Bro,
She
it was
looks like a spice
awesome.
girl
Like,
there. She looks
now
so
it
cute
switches. I
with
get to
her
watch
hair
this
back.
game from a whole different perspective of just like being a viewer rather than a player now. And I'm like, I get to enjoy it in a whole new way. And so now when there's chaos, I'm like, oh, this is awesome instead of, oh, this is awful. And so I was like, oh, I love seeing everything fall apart. This is great.
Emily, so I could literally tell you what
Oh,
happened in your
God.
tribal. You did
Yeah,
not,
'cause I'm
you
confused.
didn't get 4 votes. You got 1 vote. So what happened was Ashley had a vote swap, and she got to choose 2 people. So the highest amount of votes and the lowest amount of votes swap. So me,
So who was
Rita,
supposed to lose?
Ashley was supposed to go at final 8, but she used an
Well,
advantage.
listen to
It was also like kind of nice to be like, okay, my people didn't stab me in the back. It was possibly just to swap the vote. I'm like still thinking about the game. I'm like, what if Rialzo lied, but he has no reason to anymore? So, but it was definitely shocking information to hear. But good game move on Ashley.
Everything I said to you was genuine. Like I felt like you were my. I don't know if it was likewise, but I really wanted to work with you.
That's how I felt too.
You
And
talking to
Muggsy,
me?
yeah.
You
and Muggsy-
voted against me, Riazzo. Admit it.
Muggsy, listen, right? So, if I, who did you vote in final 9? Yeah, so it would make no sense. Like, I was the one that told Muggsy to say she had a fake idol, and she had an idol in a Shack
I
Chat.
didn't
'Cause
even know what that meant.
I was trying to.
I didn't
I
even
was,
know if I was saying it right.
no, I was trying to keep you in the game for at least that
That's
round.
nuts that Ashley did that because I'm thinking, damn, Rita and Dom flipped on me. I was like, that's crazy. My regret is not using that idol. I mean, there were so many red flags. I knew Ashley was coming for me. I wasn't 100% sure what her advantage was. I didn't think she still had an advantage, so I should have played it the week that I heard my name going around, but I didn't.
What's up, Susan?
Actually, I think I did really well. If they got mad about the Tabitha thing in the very beginning, I voted her, and because I knew she was safe, and I didn't want to vote Riazzo or whatever. And then I feel okay. I'm not mad. I mean, they are mad probably, but the way I did things. But it's like they can't say that I'm the only one that lied on here. Like I don't know how that goes down, but it's a game, you know.
What do you mean?
That one?
So nobody voted for me but Ashley, right? And then Ashley swapped all the votes for herself onto me, or what? How did that happen?
Yeah.
Riazzo,
I had some heartfelt
admit
conversations
that you
with
voted
Ashley.
against me. Say it's okay.
I'm
You being all chill and everything, then you vote against me?
No, we're chill. We're chill. But Muggsy,
It's
listen,
just a
right?
game. It's just
Yeah,
a game.
Muggsy,
I had to
like,
pivot, Emily.
But-
Sorry.
if I
You
voted,
could have voted for anybody else that you knew wasn't gonna lose, even
But
when you're
that
mad chill
wasn't-
with me and you still vote me out.
it's not personal. It was the majority. I tried saving you. I
No,
told you to go to Shack Chat.
I get
that you
it.
were
I get
safe.
what you did, but you still voted me. You could have voted
She wanted her
anyone else
sympathy
that
vote.
you wasn't gonna lose, but you still voted me. Even after trying to be
That's
mad
not-
chill, Yeah, it is. It is what it is. That's what
not
it
a good
was.
strategy,
That's
though.
what happened.
I have
Hey,
no issue
stop
with
playing.
voting
Strategy to
person.
vote someone that
You
you
have
know
the
not
juror.
to get voted out.
At least give me
Yo,
a
yeah. Moxie
Should
just
be
took
vote.
over that. She was like,
I do
damn the
not know
votes.
how how Nick kept his composure through like how he keeps his composure through these whole games.
That
This
is
is
hilarious.
good.
She's
That's
like, I'm the
awesome, man.
juror. You should have
And
cared about me and my vote. You should have given me a vote at least.
there's a scene that comes up that Riazzo says that I told him that Dom had the block a vote, but I never told him that.
That's what I'm trying to tell you, you guys. Emily's saying, why would he lie? And he's still injured.
Still lying, bro, because I was like,
lying
I
about
have the
stuff.
block a
Why you
vote.
always lying? Exactly. That's what I'm
Yeah.
like.
He
You talked
did. He
about all
went in there
the.
and said something about me too, and I was like, that is not how that went.
I know. I was like, wait a minute. I never said that Dom had a block a vote. I said that I had a block a vote. And then I think he got mad because I told him super late. But and see, that was another thing that I didn't think about either was like the time constraint to tell people about
Yes.
my advantages. I had no idea
Yep.
people were clocking that. So I was like, oh shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And see, I only knew that you guys knew that people
But
were
he
getting
still
advantages because
tried.
Emily told me that you
Say
got
that
one.
again?
I didn't even realize that people were getting advantages for talking to people. I thought that was like
The
a
thing
me
I
thing.
didn't know either. I thought you had
Until
to
Emily,
win. That's how I was like, dang, I don't know who got advantages and didn't have them until it was just like, oh
yeah,
dang. Now
I
there's
didn't pick
these
that up.
advantages. Because that's
Yeah.
when you pull that advantage, I had no idea. I'm like, when
And
was
see,
that?
that was where the seed of doubt came in at Tabitha, because Tabitha found out that I had an advantage from y'all. I didn't tell her I had an advantage.
Right.
That was the moment that Tabitha was like,
Well,
But-
and see, the crazy part is because Riazzo knew that everyone had these advantages, because that's what his end game was. He wanted to know
Yes.
who all had advantages. He knew that Emily had her idol, and he could have said, "Hey, Emily, you might be a target, and you may
Right.
want to play that."
I
And
didn't tell him that we didn't even get a chance to talk about Emily. That was the thing with
Yeah.
the time. Emily's name never came up because we didn't get a chance to talk about her because he was
Right.
busy trying to tell me, use your advantage. And he was just telling me, just use it. And I was like, well, I'd rather use
Right.
it for someone or on
Right.
something, not just
Right.
play it just to play it. Like Riazzo, that doesn't
Right.
even make any sense. And that's
Well,
when he was like,
I mean, to me, I think it's like because Dom and I knew that we were targets, and I don't know. I guess like maybe she didn't realize she was like a target as well, or maybe she thought she was like on the back burner of that, and so that's why we were like, why didn't she play the idol?
yeah.
Right. Play it. Play
But-
it.
Dar.
So
and
like,
then
tell me,
You do it
Oh,
now?
go ahead.
Okay.
no, you're gonna get voted out. You're gonna get voted out, and then you vote me out.
Mm.
Like, what's
I
the
didn't know.
point?
I didn't know you were mad at me for that. I thought I
I'm
didn't.
not mad.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
I
not
know.
mad at you.
Sometimes you have to
why
go
would
with like
you?
what the majority is, because like if you saw at the Tabitha vote, everyone was for Darstar, then there was 3 on Tabitha, and that created so much chaos, you know? Like,
That was
so
me.
Oh my
That
God,
was
is she
me, though.
gone? Is she gone?
Susan,
Tabitha's gone.
Tabitha? No, Tabitha's not gone.
Susan,
He was so
Did you not
look at
play-
hold
did
on
you
real quick. Lexi was so happy to see if Tabitha would have been gone.
I
Lexi was ready to
know.
celebrate.
She knew that if Tabitha was gone, she'd be in there with them. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
yeah, that's the
I
funniest
think
part of it.
Muggsy genuinely did not like Tabitha. I don't
No,
know
there,
why.
there was a genuine dislike. The blonde
Yeah,
thing,
I think so.
and I
I
can see
think
it. I can see
so.
Tabitha being like her nemesis. There's something deeper
I
there.
think so.
Like you
Yeah, I
said,
think
there's
she
something
was
like
probably the only one taking it really personally, for real, like,
For
yeah.
real, yeah, because like she like I don't know, she just always had this weird thing for Tabitha, and because there was a scene where she was like telling me, "Hey, Rita, watch how Tabitha like does this when she talks, like when she lies," and I was like, "Girl, what are you talking about?" And I was like, "Do you not take into consideration maybe people are just like nervous and awkward when they first talk to?" But yeah, it was I don't know. I felt the genuineness there from Muggsy with Tabitha. I was like, I don't
a
know.
genuine dislike. It was real.
Yeah, I didn't
You
know
can
what
feel
was
it. You
going
can
on
sense
with
the
that.
energy was definitely like they
Okay,
don't
well,
vibe.
in Muggsy's defense, if she saw that Tabitha was two-faced, quote, you see these quotes, right? Okay. And basically she would go back and forth between people. Maybe she also seen that was going to carry Tabitha far in the game.
Yes.
And she was
Well,
trying to get Tabitha's name as muddy as possible so that somebody would finally see her for what she's seen her for and get her out the
right.
game.
Right. I think where it just kind of got personal was when Muggsy like kept referring to her as a bitch. And I
Yes,
think
that
that
part.
was like when it
Yeah,
was just like
yeah,
crossing the line at that point. And
definitely.
I don't know if you can, I don't know, like tell me if I'm wrong or not when you guys like watch these episodes. I don't know if Muggsy is the only, like if she's calling only Tabitha a bitch or was she also calling Mary a bitch too? Because that's like kind
So
of just where it got like very personal and it just wasn't
Yeah, she
necessary.
did say
I
something
didn't
about Mary.
hear about Mary until Riazzo came to the team.
Right.
So I don't know, but Riazzo came to the team after Mary was on the wrong side of the votes.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
it was really hard to tell because at that point, Dar and Muggsy had started to like lock down.
Right.
And I was looking at a different avenue to get as far away from, the wild card as possible, which was Tabitha and Riazzo, and hoping to rekindle with Mary. But then
Right.
the swap happened.
Right.
So I couldn't tell you. Me personally, I couldn't tell you
Yeah.
if she didn't, because this is the thing. She didn't call Mary that during Tribal, because me and Dar dropped it during
Right.
Tribal that Mary we didn't get a chance to tell her that the vote was switching, and that's how Muggsy knew that Mary voted for her. And she said, "And you voted for me." She didn't insult her right then. I think she got confused because even when she was talking to Dom, it was so funny. When she was talking to Dom, you might remember this, and you asked her if she could trust me, and she started talking about Tabitha, and you were talking about me, and she was like,
Okay.
"Who?" She
Mhm.
every time she talked with anybody, she always just assumed the conversation was about Tabitha, no matter what names the other person had said.
Right.
Strategize
Right.
with her because it's just like, when is she gonna listen? Even when I'm like, all right, I
And
think I'm getting a vibe from her, she would just pivot to something else. It's just like Muggs is just, she's a lot.
and that's why I think Muggsy was trying to tell him that that Mary voted for her. And
Right.
Riazzo continued talking about Mary, but Tabitha had already switched back to Tabitha that quick.
Right.
Because she
Right.
did it that quick. It was like Tabitha.
Yeah. Yeah. Muggsy.
You see, we were all shocked. We were like, she said, "What about Mary?" What?
I know. I know.
What?
I know. I think they even said on the reaction video too. They were just like, "Why would you say that about Mary? She's
Yeah.
Yeah.
and we're like,
And
oh.
you see Riazzo's trying to create chaos, so he's just gonna take it and run with it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So
Your advantage last night. I was so mad when I
Yeah, I did, but I see everybody was voting for you, and I voted for Tabitha because I didn't want to vote you out. I told you and Emily both that I wouldn't do
I
that.
wish I had a one-on-one with you that night. I would have told you. Would you have voted Ashley with me?
No, what?
Would you have voted Ashley with me and Dom?
you're dumb.
If I
No.
Because Ashley and Tabitha weren't like, they didn't have the best interest for me and you in mind. That seemed like we're both here.
Why
now.
does it
Well, I know. I just found that out.
I was trying to throw it. It's like, this game is so complicated. You can
Yeah.
open, like, your
Mary's
perspective.
That really flipped my brain that you just told me about that. Actually,
Emily, you're gonna read my confession. You're gonna look at my confessional. I was so upset.
I never voted you, Emily, either, and I didn't vote you, Muggsy, either. I voted Tabitha.
Well, thank you guys. Muggsy didn't watch the tribal council, but it was like a double elimination. That's why Riazzo and Susan are here. And there was a quick immunity challenge, and the questions were like, all right, you had to vote, like, you try to be in the majority voting for each other. Out of the 6 people that were left, there would be questions like, who's the most annoying? And some of them were like shicey to like mix it up a little bit, like, who do you think doesn't deserve to win? I think Dom was the majority on that one, but it was a close game.
I would have said Mary. Yeah, Mary.
So hear
not getting
this.
my vote. Yeah, I was. It would have been crazy if Mary flipped on Ashley right there, but she's been playing like a low key game. I feel like that would have been the time to do something, but apparently not. Because I feel like if she flipped on Ashley, she could have went with Rita and Dom,
Oh
'Cause
man,
Tabitha
imagine if
told-
that would have
told Mary,
happened.
like, no,
Ooh.
Tabitha's gonna
See,
be
he
out
was already talking about
5,
flipping on me.
there's 4, you know? But
Did you say now?
No.
Okay, what'd you say?
Wait,
Rita, you
what?
say, were you saying something?
I didn't say anything.
Okay, I thought, okay,
I
fine.
feel like they kind of screwed up there because Ashley beats everybody except maybe Rita. But yeah, there's still people in the game that are so scared to make moves. It's Final Five. Like, what are you doing? When you get to the end, what is your resume going to be? What are you going to say to us that makes you want to, like, there's already people in the game. I'm not voting, regardless of
Yeah.
who's at the end, just because of the way they played those last 2 rounds.
Yeah.
They're just so scared.
That's how I felt going out. Was like, I was like, damn, that's sad. But I'm like, at least I can go out being like, you know what? I was trying. I was like analyzing everything. Like I
You
was
went
giving it
out
my
right
all.
before. You went out right before shit blew up. Like,
Yeah, as I was
Yeah,
watching
yeah.
last night, I was like, thank God I'm not in there. I would get my feelings hurt. I'd
bro,
be
I
like,
was getting pissed off.
And I lied about the Tabitha thing, but I thought, you know what? I don't have to say anything. You know what I mean? I
exactly.
I put Tabitha so nobody else that I swore that, you know what I mean? I had Emily's back, I had Rizzo's back, so I had to put somebody, you know what I mean? Because I wasn't going to put them.
oh my gosh, Tabitha, the third vote gate, like that was crazy. You know, it was a true mystery, and we always knew like, okay, it was probably Susan or Mary because they were the least vocal about voting for Muggsy.
Yeah, they
And
were.
so I was not surprised to find out it was Susan, but it was really funny to watch it unfold. And Tabitha took it quite personally, and obviously it backfired on Susan because I think that's what sealed her coffin. You know, say what you want about Rita and Dom, like they're kind of running shit right now, but like they have
Only because Dom had immunity 4 times in a row.
Yeah, that is crazy to me. Like,
So bad.
He just won the 5th immunity last night, or was it his 4th?
Fourth.
In a row.
Fourth, yeah.
Game that he won 4 games.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was too hard on Dom a little bit, I'll admit. Not trust wise, but I feel like he is playing a good game. Challenge wins, he's doing good, still in the game, last guy in there. I feel like he did want to work with me. I feel like it was more Rita that was probably untrustworthy there. I kind of read it a little bit wrong.
I was definitely not trusting him.
Kinda, but yeah, he was upset that I didn't play my idol when there was no idol. Like I hope he got on to that. But you know what's the crazy thing too? I tried to take her. I wanted Rita to go so bad when you left. Like I was trying to blindside her. I don't know if you know. But
I know they were so lucky that both of them were safe last night, and I was so pissed because I was like, that would have been a perfect opportunity for you guys to get Rita out in a double eviction or Dom out.
And here's the thing about Rita. Like you guys may think she's playing a good game, but I think Ashley's playing way better because here's 2 things that Rita did in the last 2 rounds that it's like the numbers up for them because now it's 3-2. Rita gave me misinformation because the night that you left,
Never happened.
Dom had a block a vote. So I was under the impression that Dom was going to block you, Susan. He was supposed to block your vote. And then Rita blocked Tabitha's vote because she wasn't there.
Yeah,
so,
that was a stupid move on her part. I don't know why.
We were supposed to have the numbers. And then last round, I told her, I was like, Rita, me and Dom need you at this tribal. You can't leave her. I'm like, you know? But I just don't agree with her leaving tribal because now they're down. And what if she doesn't win immunity? What if Dom wins immunity and Rita doesn't? That's 3 right there.
All right, pause.
Yeah, well, Mary's not going to flip.
I'm just
so
really
he wanted me to vote with you guys, even though he was targeting me.
Crazy, which is crazy.
Even though he just created a explosion Armageddon of advantages that caused your and one of your number 1 allies to go home.
Right. But like, are you not correlate? Like, Riazzo, please logically think about this. Do not take offense to me leaving when you literally were targeting me to get out, bro.
Man, you weren't there to take his bullet.
You threw all the Lego pieces down and then you just walked away. Like, who gonna clean this mess up? Like, you gonna clean this mess up.
You gonna clean it up. You made it.
You made the mess. You got to live with it now. And like, I think that's just, I think him and Emily just had, I think in that moment, they didn't have that like realization, like both of you created the messes that left you both out. Even Susan did too. Like if Susan, I think the Tabitha thing, I kind of set that up because I could see that, but I think the way Susan answered the question created more of it to where I'm like, Ashley and Mary are definitely gonna have to think about that too, because it's just like you can't trust Susan. Because Susan damn near just said she didn't. She was like, "Yeah, I voted you 3 times." It's like, dang, Susan, you supposed to get Tabitha that many times. But you voted
Right.
me every
Well,
single time.
and it was, again, for me, it was like taking accountability for like what you did. It's like you didn't do anything wrong, but it's like stop like, pressing the blame on like other people.
Mhm.
It's like it was
Mhm.
just like you kind of made those moves yourself. And yeah, I wasn't about to stay to get like voted out. So.
Right. Get out. Go.
But and then when Emily said it was a stupid part on my part to play that block a vote, it absolutely was stupid of me to play that block a vote. But the only reason why I did it was because Riazo told me to do it. And that was
Yeah, I
like
heard you say that.
and that was me like giving him like, hey, I'm gonna trust you a little bit with this. And and it backfired because I'm like, that was just like pretty much a wasted advantage. So yeah, it was very
That's what
stupid of
made me
me.
realize that too, because when he told me that you were going to block Tabitha's vote,
Yeah.
I thought Tabitha's vote is random. Why would I knew then that's
Yeah.
another thing that let me know it was never about protecting me. It was never about protecting me. It was about getting
Right.
us to play our advantages.
Right. Yeah.
He said if we're going to
absolutely.
play the advantage, then he'd be like, all right, now we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, that
Absolutely.
no one could use them against him, and that's one of the reasons Susan kept asking me what should I do? What she wanted me to tell her how to use her advantage
Right.
so that she could use it, and she ended up using it to vote me. So that's
Which
one
is
of the
the
reasons I never
craziest
told
thing.
her how to use it. Like,
Right.
no, it's your advantage. You figure it out.
Right. Well, and that's weird because we also said, hey, Susan, if I would have come to you and vote Ashley out, would you have done it? And she said no, but she voted,
Yeah.
Right.
you out at that last vote. And I was like, wait, so that's like very like contradictive. Like,
It
would you
is.
have
Because
not?
if
And
Dom
that's
had
the
went
whole thing, because
the
I
right
was just
way,
like,
I would have
Susan's
been
not going to
gone.
vote Ashley. That
Yeah.
doesn't benefit. And then it's just like, but I think, Janessa, I think you're going to vote Susan, though, which is the
Right.
funniest part to me, because I'm like, now you have to kind of vote her out because she kind of
Right.
put herself on the sword now to where she's like, she's got to go.
She
Mhm.
almost executed that damn vote, though. That would have been like the
Yeah.
crazy part. If she would have,
Yeah.
because I think she voted for Tabitha, right, for her regular vote.
Yes.
And
Mhm.
then she switched Tabitha's vote to Ashley. And I was like, what?
It was almost like she righted the wrong. Like
Yeah.
Dom voted Susan and Tabitha voted Susan,
Yeah.
but somebody was supposed to vote Ashley. Was supposed to be like it was supposed to be Dom and Rita, or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tabitha and Rita who voted for Ashley.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
And
No,
that's
it
not what
was.
happened.
It was, yeah. That's like, yeah. I love seeing this jury though. Like, this
It
just gives it so much more perspective
It
as
does.
well, like on how they feel. And so I'm just like, it makes me really excited to see the last episode.
Hey,
I know I'm excited. I'll be really excited too. I'm like, he's gonna fit.
Yes.
Okay.
Ready to go.
okay.
I know. Oh, go for it, Dom. Go ahead.
Okay, my bad.
I have a little bit more respect for Ashley's gameplay, even though she's responsible for getting me out.
Ashley's playing really good.
It's because she's making good moves that are
Uh-huh.
respectable.
She's a
and
real
This is
player.
her first time doing this, like.
I think it was all our first times, right?
Okay.
I was
Yeah.
thinking that. I'm like,
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
You can be Team Mary.
You don't even
That could be an argument point of like Mary. No one's talking about Mary. She's not on anyone's radar. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, she's not on anyone's radar for a reason. Because what has she done?
For me, Ashley, actually, because she's a good player. I mean, she helped me along. I would have been out a long time ago, so.
I think surviving to this
I
point,
would
not
tell
being
Rita.
mentioned,
Exactly.
is
Rita, I
very
mean-
respectable.
Wait, what? Say that
At the
again?
same time, it's like,
Actually, that's
That
what
was-
she told you. She told you I made her stay.
Oh, yeah.
But you gotta,
You
yes.
know.
Yeah, Susan explains it so many different ways.
No, I know. Well, I mean, like at the end of the day, she saved herself, that's very like great. Save
Yes.
yourself. Save
Oh.
yourself. But the thing is that what was very confusing is like vote me out. And I get that she did that in a very like non-strategical, I'm like, I want everyone else to play kind of a thing. But it would throw people for a loop to hear that. If
Yeah.
you were like, if you don't know the person and you're like, well, I really want to play. So like this person doesn't sound like they want to play. So yeah, let's just
Yeah,
throw
that
this
was the most
vote.
mind-blowing thing. 'Cause it's like, what do you want me to do with that, Susan? Like, I don't have anything
Right.
against you, but you literally said it.
Right.
And you're mad at me for you saying you don't want to play. Like I was just like Susan. You're right. I
She
could have
was
switched it at the
trying
end,
to
but I was
get
just
me
like,
to talk.
hmm?
She was trying to get me or Mary to talk. That's what she wanted us to do. She wanted us. She like you see it right after the game. Like I said, we're sitting there. I'm just trying to like keep this like this stoic, like don't let anyone know. Just try not to. And out like even looking back, I'm like it kind of was looking sad. We were kind of looking like we were at a funeral. You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
felt the target big on her,
Yeah.
and she wanted to somebody, okay, just take me. And and that's when I was like, oh, see, we had someone on our team, Mav, who dropped out, and
I
I
remember
seen
that.
I seen the same look, and I knew that we could go far if I just let him know it's just hey, it's just a game. But if I felt like this was a second opportunity to right a wrong that I didn't get a chance to do with a different player in the
Sure.
beginning of the game. And so when she came and was like trying to tell both stories, like she had started with the whole it could be one of you, and I was just like, well, I know it's not me, so that I'm not biting. I wasn't biting when she was trying to say it was me and Mary. I was not biting it because Jason had already told us, and he could have been, and he was even trying to flip at some point, but I knew if I just stuck with whatever the plan was, it didn't matter
Right.
which way it went. I had already said we would do it. I already stayed quiet about it. So as long as
Do you think that like if the vote didn't happen with Jason and this would have went a completely different way?
listen, I don't think that I would have made it
If
as
Mary
far.
got voted out, do you think
That would have been the target. Yeah.
do you think that like you would have like tried to like work with like some of us from like We Are Legend,
This is the thing.
or
That is
Riazo, or
You
what would
guys,
you have done?
this is the thing. It was very nice that Jason was nice to us. Love Jason, great player, But the bottom line is me and Mary were forcibly put in the regime. We Are
Yeah.
Legend.
Yeah.
And we were just placeholders, and he needed us to move a piece. And the whole thing is, once the merge came, I already knew we were at the bottom. You guys might have worked with us, but you had the numbers to just pick us off and still be legend strong, sliding into home plate. So when Susan
Right.
came with her little, it's you, Mary, and I was thinking like, I'm not listening because I already know it's not. And then she she came and said, I think he's after me. And I wasn't saying anything. At first I was just not saying anything. And she said, but I said it was going to be, I said, vote me out because it's going to be you and Mary. And that was when I was like, okay, if he can appeal to my better nature and get me to be quiet and not tell her, then I can surely allow her, who was offering me a way to the at least final 5, right? At least final 6. She's offering me a future, a real future here. And all I have to do is let her play on my empathy card. That's it.
Right.
Okay, fine. I'll take it because you know what? Morally, it goes along with what I believe.
This would have went a different way too, because one thing that Jason did say is like he wanted to be very relatable with everybody, but he also was here to play the game. So he was going to do whatever it was going to take to win. So I'm so curious on what his gameplay would have been if he would have stuck around longer, and who he would have would he have like strayed away from our alliance? Would he have tried to like turn people against each other? And that's like something like that we'll like never know.
I don't think he would have though. I think that
I don't think so either.
I think as soon as the merge hit, that he was going to link back with you and Emily. You guys were going to chop Riazo off at the knees. And then you guys were just going to continue to ride the rest of us as long as you could, pass back and forth through the the competitions. You know what I'm saying? Just picking off vigilantes.
And again, I would have told Riazo a lot earlier that I did not trust him if it was not for Emily, because I did I had trust within her, so I was like, hey, I'm gonna trust Riazo because I trust you. But as soon as that link shipped, I was like, no, Riazo, like I don't trust you. And I even told him, and I was like, hey, it's every man for himself. Like you kind of you played your cards, and now you have to lay your blood. So
Yep, definitely.
Okay, are you giving out a gold star to somebody who survived or somebody who fought?
Listen, yeah, every conversation I've had with Mary in this game, nothing of substance was in that. I feel like she's just listening to Ashley and Tabitha. Like, of course, yeah, she has no votes, but it's because she's not on anyone's threat level. Like, that could be good in a final 2 situation, but if it's final 3, she's next to Rita and Dom, Ashley and Tabitha, she loses.
I could see somebody like taking her just to final 2 because they know that they could like sit next to her and probably.
And I feel like she's gonna get no offense to her, great person, but I feel like when we ask her a lot of things that Tribal would explain, like what you did, like biggest moves, blah blah blah, your game, I feel like she's gonna get stumped as well. So.
But I would love for her to pull out like just come out with like the craziest shit and be like, I did this, this, and this, I orchestrated this. My jaw would drop. I don't know what Mugsy's on. Like, I really don't know who she's gonna vote for, or if she even knows that she's voting for the winner at this point. I think she's just like mad at the world, and that's just Mugsy, you know. But I'm excited to converse with my fellow jurors and figure out, you know, like who's played the best game and who's the most deserving of a win.
Yeah, of course, Dom's won 4 challenges, but there's like a lot of other factors that go into it, you know, like strategy, social game.
Yeah. What do you guys think about Dom and Rita's social game?
Said you were MVP of winning games this season.
Yeah, you were.
That was the hardest part though too, because it just like felt like even because that was like the last, like in this trivia or the scavenger hunt. I was just like, this shit is kind of getting pressure now because it's like now I'm winning to the point where it's just like, do I keep winning? Do I keep winning? Like this is like in my head, it's psychology. I'm like, I don't know if I can just keep going, but it's just like I need to figure these numbers out at the same time. But it was just like there was a point where, like you said, when me and you both won, I felt like that was like the crowning moment of like, okay,
I know
that was so necessary because it's just like they're gonna take us out. They got the numbers.
I don't know how we did that.
How do we do it? How do we do this? And you took the other immunity. I took that one. I'm just like, now we can kind of. That's when I was just like, now I can kind of play a little bit of like, how can I get this to now flip for us? And I'm like, Tabitha just needs something, and I kept kind of telling her. And she couldn't believe me. And I'm like, but she'll believe me once it's just like, boom. When he said final immunity, I'm like, now let's get this answer. Cause I'm like, Susan can't run. Susan can't run because I know I voted for Dar. And I know that now it's just like, we got to flip one of these. And that's just exactly
with that game, that literally, like, we were so in sync with that. Like, like, we didn't even mean to do that either. That wasn't our intended gameplay, but that's just like what happened. And it just like, it was like, damn, like,
right.
Drop the mic.
Yeah, it was. I don't know what Janessa's doing right now. Okay.
Sorry.
They've just been lucky, I think. I think they've been lucky, and otherwise I think they would have been voted out. I think. I mean, I don't know how everybody else would have voted, but
I'm convinced they're on FaceTime or something. They be scheming way too well, like in the amount of time.
I thought about that, yeah.
If Dom and Rita don't win immunity tonight, they're screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna
Rita
go
was
against
not
each
open
other.
at all to staying at Tribal last night. She was like, I'm dipping, like you're on your own. I was like, okay.
So mad about that.
She got really lucky because she somehow won like immunity for that second Tribal, or else like they really survived by like the skin of their teeth. Like Dom won that last immunity, Rita got the immunity from the challenge. Like they both would have been like on the chopping block. Okay, who would you guys like to see final 2? Like who would you guys?
Ashley and Rita.
Yeah, Ashley's played a good game. Dawn probably actually. I mean, really, but yeah.
I mean,
Best final 3 would be, in my opinion, Rita, Ashley, and Mary, or Ashley, Rita, Dawn.
If Tabitha makes more like game moves, that I would like have some like respect towards her just game strategy, but I feel like
too emotional.
She just stares at you with her eyes open. Like,
I know, yeah.
She blew up. She blew up last round. She got like, you thought.
Wait, don't pause.
With her was a.
Do you think Tabitha was too emotional?
I don't think that's the thing. She was emotional about her whole vote thing. That was her storyline. Her storyline was who voted for me, and she didn't care at that point. She was and that vote didn't even matter, but she was not about to let that vote go. And that's why I was just like, that's her angle. So let me figure out how to get her on. Because I just felt like, even though she was rolling with Janessa and Mary, I was just like, she doesn't feel like she's a part of that because she's never there. She's either at she's at a taxi cab, she's at a casino, she's on a flight. She's not. She doesn't have enough time.
That's what I was about to say. That's why she kept reverting back to that vote, because that was the last thing that was really stuck in her mind before she started doing all the vacationing and stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes. And so when she came back, to avoid having to deal with the Ashley, you can say Ashley because that's what the name was. My name was. But I appreciate,
that's how we trying to say it.
Appreciate your respect to my newfound name, but I also live in the past when I'm referring to the past.
Right. For sure.
But she comes back and she's like dealing with, the Rita Ashley drama. And so she's like, what better way can I avoid that but to focus on who voted for me when there should have been no vote for me.
Well, I also think she didn't want to get involved with that because I think she genuinely liked you and I as players.
Yes.
And and I think that's like, she was just like, I kind of want to stay out of it as much as possible. Because it's like, it's not like really my place to say yay or nay. I'm just gonna like focus on like something else, and hey, let's focus on who voted for me.
Yep. And let that play itself out the way it's gonna play itself out.
Exactly, which it did. So it did.
The emotional no, like last round was bad. If it's her and Mary, that's like the only time I'll maybe vote her to win, or like her and Dom, but I just think she's not a front runner right now, respectfully. And if you're watching this, Tabitha, I love you.
Okay, who do you guys want to see on the jury tonight at the next tribal?
What does that mean?
Rita.
Like, who do we want voted out next?
Rita.
Mary. Rita or Mary?
Rita or Tabitha, bro. Honestly.
I feel like
Tabitha,
Rita's Tabitha,
but she's not a threat right now.
She pissed me off because, bro, I don't know. She's just playing really personal, and it's not smart. Like, it's no reason to.
She gets a little explosive, and it's kind of like you don't.
And I was trying to work with her, and she blew my shit up at tribal for no reason. And then she went off on Susan for no reason.
Yeah.
Unnecessary.
Yeah, she's like,
how did this blow up, Raza?
She voted.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I was trying to remember that. When did she blow over? But
She said he's playing both sides. She said, there's been talk that Susan voted for me, and there's talk that Dom has been voting for me, and there's talk that Riaz is playing both sides.
She did. She did come through with that. She lit the fire, and I just said, I'm gonna throw the bomb at it.
That's not that emotional. That's just like, listen, here's all the cards that I have been told. Like, I'll put all this shit out there.
Let's lay them on the table.
No, it's funny though, because it was that, like, really, and it was funny because with you and Riazo being the only two males on the game at this point, you guys really were like throwing your masculine energy around, to like give us courage and speaking up for ourselves. And that's what I'm
like, how do I like some? I'm like, all right, I'll try to charm, but then it's just like some. I'm like, how do I use this? Because it's like,
I'm not gonna lie, Dom. If you were a very masculine, aggressive male, you would have definitely been my target from day one. If that's
exactly how I knew how to play.
I love targeting aggressive alpha males.
As soon as you asked the question about logic and emotion, I was just like, I kind of understand how Rita is. So I'm just like, you gotta have to divert your energy based on who you're dealing with. Like, I know how to use masculine to the feminine, but you have to understand who you're talking with. It's like, all right, Muggsy, you got to bring her in. I'm like, Muggsy, what's going on? Rebalance your chakras. Like, okay,
yeah, because Muggsy was never like hostile towards me or anything like that, and like she definitely did like talk to me, and I wish I could have like pulled her in, because like I definitely could have. And Dom, you could have pulled her in as well.
I could have.
Sure. But
Muggsy. Yeah, definitely.
It was a lot.
Because even I stopped when he was like, Tabitha, and I was like, yeah, what's going on over there? Let's talk about that for a minute.
I felt it was the perfect moment. I'm like, bam, Tabitha's been talking about this. Let's get this right now. We got one last vote. I need to flip this vote, because that's exactly what I felt. I'm like, if we don't get this vote flipped, I'm like, I don't know what happened at that vote, because I think it could have went.
I neither. That's why I was like all ears. I heard like we're about to figure out a target, Let me
That's
all
exactly what I
ears.
was saying. I was like, boom, this time to figure out the target. Tabitha wants this.
Yep.
Let's bring it to her. She wanted the smoke.
Yep.
It's like
I
Susan
was
just
definitely
obliged
following
to
the.
it.
Yep, I was fell in line and followed suit. I was like, the mail has spoken.
Yeah, I was just like, this is the
Tabitha,
time.
find out who this ticket is. The
Mhm.
vote was. Yep.
I thought it was.
Mhm.
I thought it was.
That
funny.
is, yeah, it was
That was
great.
funny.
Bye, guys.
Who cares?
Tabitha, like where the is Tabitha? I hate her. She's such a cheap, like she's so fake. She's like this fake girl.
She didn't even want to see
She
Tabitha
like
next.
one
She got married.
way, and then
Right.
switched to be like a totally different personality, and then she's just like stares at you with these eyes, and like she doesn't blink. She'll just stare at you
Yeah,
with these crazy
yeah.
eyes and this dumbass expression on her
It's
face.
too much.
You guys, did you see Big Brother this season?
The big vote.
Gotta go watch it.
tonight.
Big vote, for real, for real.
Oh man.
Last
What
night,
what did I say though? Riazzo, then Susan.
yes, yeah. At first, I'm looking at him like, "Fool, what are you doing?" Like,
No.
fucking car. He said that. I'm like, "You gotta be the most dumbest." I was like, "This is like."
So Dom, at that point, you thought Riazzo had an idol, right?
I did,
Yeah.
because he was talking about it. He had won, right? We had picked
Yeah.
that he had won the challenge, and I'm like, okay, did he get? But I think he had just won the immunity. But I just didn't know at the time when he was on the other team if he had won something. But it's just
Right.
like, but like you said, I felt like Riazzo had set so many traps that if he did have it, he damn near forgot what he had anyway.
Yeah.
Your turn.
Jewish.
So that's what I was like, did you not see the signs? I'm like, "Fool, you've been jumping everywhere." I'm thinking, you pull that, everything's good. And then you did. And I was like, oh my goodness. Somebody else voted for Ashley, so I think Tabitha might be. That's what I'm saying. I feel like Tabitha.
I say let's vote for Mary. And
I'm on that. I was on that board. The only
Yeah.
I was gonna vote actually the last round, but I felt
Mary
like Susan was so
Target.
out there. It was just like, vote get Susan out right there. As soon as so that's why I didn't know who else would vote for Ashley. I was like,
Sure.
shit. So
Sure.
you know what I'm saying? Now I'm gonna I talked with Ashley to be like, hey, I think we don't have an issue, but if we do, whatever. I think the safest bet is Mary. Mary's kind of on the she's kind of on the side though, like you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So she's kind of makes the most sense to me. You know what I'm
It
saying?
makes the most sense to me too. I mean, Tabitha says she hasn't been talking that much to her, so maybe she'll vote Mary. Who knows?
And that's what I'm saying. I think Mary will definitely go with Tabitha. Like I feel like they, you know what I'm saying? Like Mary's kind of or her it, but I don't see them bonding like that. That's why I feel like as long as to break up that Susan Mary thing, I was just like,
Yeah.
that was the goal. Now with the whole Susan thing, I feel like me and Tabitha have a good relationship. So, and I mean, me and Rita have been rocking together ever since. So that's where I'm going with it. How you feeling about everything right now? I mean, yeah, we're down to the final 5 of us now.
Yeah, 5. I was like, oh my god, it's like.
Yes, yeah.
uh,
I was like John have to get to the vote, but it's gonna be interesting. I don't know. Just playing this long and into it, it's just kind of like, you know what, just try to do the best. At least like in the last few rounds, everything was kind of like, everybody's kind of vote was kind of to me led to the vote. This vote, I don't know how to lead it to something. It's just more or less like,
yeah, now it's like challenge vote.
Exactly.
Like,
It's just now it's just 5 of us, right? It's just like, all right, you can't vote for yourself, you can't vote for who we want. It's just like, all right, let's just try to get safe, So I don't know. I mean, I can't believe it's gonna be over though. and all the cards, I can't believe we got to get this far to think where it started. I think that's the one itself.
I actually told. Well, I don't remember if I told Nick. I was like, I'm gonna be like at first I thought like I'd be out like the first night or something like that. So I was like, It's like 5 oh my god.
Breathe and just let it all fall where it falls at this point, like you said.
I think he was fishing for information just to see if I did say anything in regards to how I guess Ashley will be voting tonight.
Congratulations.
Thank
Were you
you.
fishing for information?
I mean, like with me and Mary. Mary's kind of like this. You know what I'm saying? Like if Mary, like sometimes it's like with Mary, it's just kind of like we're having a conversation, but it's just like Mary's not gonna tell me nothing. So I'm just like, I need to get
Right.
Mary to open up to say something because it's just like Mary's like, how's the weather type? Like that's how I feel with Mary. Like I know where she lands. Like I know where she
Right.
stands. It's just like,
Right.
but I'm like, if it's 5 of us, what? I feel like where you feel as like a competitor, right? That's why I'm just like, you can't really. You might be wanting to vote for me, but competitive wise, it's like, Mary, you kind of are the lowest here. You know what I'm saying?
So a little bit, Dom, you were just a little bit fishing.
Oh yeah, I was
Mary-
fishing. I was definitely. I was trying to throw the net. She just wasn't. She wasn't biting at the bait. I was definitely trying to get something out of her. But like I said,
Oh,
but
wait,
Mary will say something
yes,
and then be
yes.
like, Mary's not gonna tell me nothing.
That's
She's not gonna tell me a damn thing. No, but she did though. But a couple times Mary was like, "Yo, we gotta. I feel like we should do this," and I'm like, "Okay, Mary." But it was only when it was like I think Riazzo was like that was where she's like, "Okay, Mary." That's because it was just like there, but it's just like she kind of knows where we're saying.
I saw her. She picked your brain a couple times. Yeah, she did. She definitely did.
Yeah, she did. That's the crazy thing about Mary. Like Mary, like you said, underrated with what Mary was doing. I think watching it, Mary really wasn't like sometimes I think just talking to her, I'm like, Mary's super boring. But I'm like, Mary was kind of definitely like a lot more exciting when she like when I'd see her outside of like just the conversations.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
How are you
Well,
feeling?
they would pull my head out the guillotine.
That's too bad. I was gonna say I like your I don't even know what to call it. Like what is
My
it?
headdress.
Yes, there you go. I love it.
I honestly want to hear everybody out, but I was thinking about it, and I'm like, now that we're down to final 5, you really have to start thinking about like if you
Trying
make it
something
to
new.
the point of jury deciding who could you win sitting next to. Each night it was like, I mean, like down to the wire, it's tight,
Yeah.
And so when he's like, oh, Dom has immunity and Rita got the, the future safety. Oh, okay. All right. Well, okay. Yeah. Cause we were going to have to do this anyways. Right. So.
Still just
Hey.
listening.
The cards fumbled the way that they needed to. So
Yeah.
there's no hard feelings with these votes. I'm just like I'm excited to see how like everything panned out at the end because that's like what I'm excited about. There was never any hard feelings. I just call people out when I see it. I think there was hard feelings with Susan because she tried to attack my character.
To go as far as it's been, like to think back at how this started and how everything kind of got a little crazy. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it to just be how it is. I feel like this how it's gonna. As far as the mix, I'm like, this is. It is. Mike's like, oh, it's gonna be on board. I'm like, no, we've had so many twists and turns getting to this point. Especially with that Susan thing yesterday. That was all the way wild. She was like, no. It's like, no, Susan, you can't just keep voting like that.
I was like, has she been throwing her votes away this whole time?
That's always like, that's when I was just like, you know what, Susan, if you're not gonna play with that, then it's just like, that's I was just like, you gotta get that vote.
So you're saying you voted for Susan?
I did. Yeah, I voted for her because I felt like she had, like, to me, it was more or less the principle of the matter. Like I'm saying, I was just like, we've been asking about this type of vote the whole time. And
yeah, we have, and that's
you know
why
what I'm saying? It was just like, just get this out. And the fact that she kind of played it like that, I was just like, no.
Cause see, I was even with Riazzo vote for me because there were 2 votes there for me, and Rita couldn't vote. And then the next time there was 2 votes, but you're saying you voted. I heard you say that day you said it. And I was
Oh no,
he's saying he voted.
Okay, so that was when you were talking about 2 different votings, right?
I believe so. I believe it
Yeah.
was yeah.
Because the first one with Riazzo, you did vote Ashley, right? With Riazzo.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
yeah.
then the second vote, it was when you
That was the
voted
fourth.
Susan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, 'cause sometimes like these votings get so morphed together and you're like, well, I don't even know.
I don't even think that I was really focused on the votes themselves. I was just really trying to wrap my head. This is the thing, I kept forgetting about Susan's advantage. I knew about it, and I knew that she was just throwing votes, but yet my mind was just so, I had just had too many blows to the brain. It was like boom, boom, boom. Every freaking time the cameras start rolling, it was just another bomb, just like bombs, just boom, 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 you know. And so by the time that happened, I'm just like,
emotional overload.
Yeah, like another one for me. Like, you're saying you didn't, so who? Never thinking that Susan just played it just to get it out there.
Right. That was the craziest part.
I know.
Because if I thought Susan would have did that, I probably would have voted you, Ashley. But I just felt like Susan was just like, Susan has to be the target because like you can't trust Susan. Even
Did
from
you
a
know
play
she had an
standpoint.
advantage?
I don't think I knew that.
That was the thing.
Yeah.
That was the thing. I didn't know, but I knew and didn't slow down to help her figure out how to use it.
And so right into the vote, right? If we would have had a Shaq chat, I think that could have changed it. But when he said we got to go right into the vote, I'm like, Susan, just like Riaza, like you have put yourself right at the plank, and now everybody's gonna, make the choice.
Yeah.
Yep.
So did Susan, who flipped?
That's the other thing too. That's what I'm saying. Was it Mary? That's what I'm saying because I think you don't think Mary did?
I don't know. I
think that's what I'm saying. I think everybody.
You don't think Mary did?
All kind of asking that question. So I think that's a flip. I think the flip could like the vote, but I was just like, you got to go now. Just because.
Yeah, I think that whoever voted me thought that you were still gonna vote me.
Yeah.
And so they voted me along with Rita's now vote, and your vote would have made 3 for me.
Susan.
Obviously,
Susan thought that's how it was gonna go.
Like, hey, listen, we are the you getting voted, I'm getting voted. This is that's my plea. That was my thought for taking Susan because I'm like, if that kind of cuts that out, then it's a clean slate. And if Rizzo would have just used his damn thing, things would have been even different there. But
how's it going?
I'm good. How you feeling?
Good.
Good.
I don't know why it's like I have strobe lights going on because I don't. But...
Yeah, you got you in that cabin. That's one of those movies where everything is all crazy and shit.
Oh, she in that cabin fever.
So because I know we only have so much time, have you talked to Rita tonight, or do you have a chat with Rita? Because
I chatted with Rita. You chat with her?
No, I didn't have enough time to talk with her just because my schedule tonight. So I wanted to have a talk with you, and I wanted to have a talk with Rita. Did you already talk to Rita before me?
Yes, I did. Yeah, me and Rita was the first.
Okay, and you guys are still like kind of working together?
Yeah, for sure.
So yesterday, Rita had asked me, it was either yesterday or the day before, because apparently Rizzo had told Rita that I said that Dom and Rita are gunning for him. And Rita asked me that yesterday, and I didn't want to say anything in front of everybody. So I actually did tell Rizzo that. And the reason why I told Rizzo that you
didn't ask her that?
You didn't say that?
I don't remember. Apparently I did, and it got cut out because
I was gonna say, I was like, I didn't see that part of the scene, but I was just like,
did you think that was he after her? After, was that true?
Well, he was, right? I mean, he told you, Ashley, that he wanted to get Rita out. And I thought that was, on his part, kind of brilliant. If he could have got you, if he didn't do so much psychologically, I think that would have been the smart thing to do, though.
Yeah.
No, he did. He told Tabitha that he told her that he told me to play my advantage and to vote Rita out. He told her that.
I still remember ever asking her that, but I'm like, I think so many things maybe got edited out of this. So
there's definitely some editing in there that's just like.
Well, you asked me, Rita, because I noticed that during
What?
I'm not even gonna. It was about my advantage, but I don't know. I'm gonna have to wait. You did ask me about my advantage during a tribal, like if I
did.
But I think Riazo might have still been there. He had to have still been. I believe he was still there. Like you asked me if he told me to play it. If I would have played it had he not?
I don't remember now. We'll keep going. Oh,
Because
no.
we're gunning for him is one, I knew you had immunity. Two, I knew that Rita couldn't be voted out. And so I knew that Ashley was gunning for Rizzo, and I knew that he was playing both sides. So I had to know if he was trustworthy or not, because I knew for sure that we had the votes. I knew I knew that Ashley was voting, you were voting, and Rita was voting. So either way, I knew that Rizzo was gonna go out. I just needed to know like where he was at and if I could fully trust him.
Sorry, I have to do this. Did you hear what she just said? Now,
What'd
this
she say?
doesn't make any sense. She said she needed to see if Riazo could be trustworthy, even though she knew he was about to leave. Why did it matter?
That's Tabitha. That's kind of Tabitha in a nutshell. Like she kind of
It wasn't a test of his loyalty. She realized that he couldn't be trusted, and now she's trying to clean it up because she trusted him, and she needs to try to get back on Dom. I mean, you and Rita's good side. She was definitely trying to play a little. Yeah, because he's leaving. Why did you need to test? You need to test him to see if you can trust him, but you know he's leaving, so you know testing him doesn't matter.
Right. Yeah.
He was gone. He was there.
Okay, good. Sorry, thank you.
Because he kept trying to work with me, and I was like, I don't know, there's some shady shit going on. So, and Rita asked me in front of everybody yesterday, and I was like, I'll deal with this like later. So I was hoping to talk to her tonight. So
yes, I
know that you guys are trying to gun out Ashley, if I'm not mistaken.
That was it. She was trying to get
right. So we.
She's not voted now. So I was like, that kind of changes things, because I was like, okay, I'm like Team Dom and Team Rita. Like, I still want to work with you guys. And after all that shit went down with Susan yesterday, like, that just showed me that I could trust you.
Strategically, the fact that I was able to out Susan for her, I think that had to show some loyalty to her.
That solidified it for sure.
She thought it was me, and I'm like,
that was the craziest part, because I'm like, I guess it could have flipped if I would have thought about Susan voting for Ashley, but that wasn't the thought that I was going to think that Susan was going to do. So like you said, when they were like, oh, well, it's just like, if we could have time, maybe, because I know like I could see your vote, Rita, but I'm just like, Susan has made so much here to where it's just like Susan will set herself to where, like you said, it was the principle, because it's like, I know that the trust thing has been that's been like the theme of the whole show. It was very much like, once you become untrustworthy, you put yourself out there. Like, I think that was the most consistent thing. Once you kind of show that you're like that, it's just like nobody wants to play. And once it was just like the same with Dar, same with Muggsy, and the same with kind of like, that's kind of how the theme kind of started to go. Like, that was a lot of the strategy.
So I think we'll wrap up this episode if you want to go to the vote. But yeah, I think for this season, because other seasons seem to be themed like differently, where it's like some seasons it seems like people are being like more strategical when it comes to like voting and like throwing people, putting people under the bus, like whatever they want to do. And yeah, this season was very much like, who is trustworthy, who's being loyal to who, and like that was kind of the game that like everyone played throughout. And as soon as like people fell short from that, like it instantly became that target, because Dom, you and I, we were loyal to each other till the end. Mary and Ashley at the time, they like your name at the time, Janessa, you guys were loyal to each other at the end. And then it was like Susan, Tabitha, and Riazo were all the wild cards. And then that's when they started kind of like fumbling out. And even Emily, when she was like, even though I don't think she really switched up that much, but she did switch up to like where it got her caught. And that ended up being her ultimate demise. But yeah.
Is this the vote right around this time?
I think so, yeah.
And that's when I was like, oh, wait, you know what? I forgot to meditate today. We'll go meditate.
Man, I was so sad about Mary, man.
Tabitha, how did you make it this far?
Because I'm kind of a big deal, Nick. No, I'm just kidding. I think for me, like, I mean, I work with all different sorts of like walks of life with my job and stuff. And I think that I connect really well with people, and I just like to keep it real and just be authentic and just, meeting like new connections, just playing the game, having fun. And other people, Muggsy, might beg to differ, but it's
Now, Dom, you've had immunity so much in this game. How are you feeling about not having immunity tonight?
I mean, be at the 5 with no immunity, like, like I said, like once I saw an iron, I was just like, damn. You know what I'm saying? Like I was the challenge wise, you know, I'm always trying to win just because, you know, at any point, you know, you can be out. So, you know, I try to win at all costs. It's definitely for me. It was in the stress was last night. I think, you know, because of the dynamic of that, like 5 is kind of and you know, the odd number, so it's a little bit easier. But at the end of the day, you know, I still got that feeling to get in my stomach, like, you know what, they've got this far.
Millennials
Ashley?
don't have irons.
Ashley has it.
My mother made me take it.
Ashley, how do you feel about winning immunity tonight, though?
I'm thankful. I know that I needed it. I definitely know. I mean, since my name dropped 3 votes ago, it hasn't stopped dropping. So I definitely felt like I was going home if it wasn't for the fact that I was able to win the immunity.
Rita, how do you feel about tonight's vote?
I mean, it's gonna go how it's gonna go. I'm not nervous about it. I can't wait just to see who wins.
Nick, I have a question. Since we just got the whole like full transparency on all this stuff going on, and we're down to the last tribal, I'm curious about this Susan vote because I'm calculating 4 votes for Susan, and it's not enough. It wasn't enough votes for her. Like, I know I voted Susan since everybody else had their moment to shine and collect and see who voted who. I know
I voted Susan.
Yeah.
I hands down voted Susan. That was not a question.
I voted Ashley.
We got 4 Susan votes and Susan only got 3 votes. So.
Let's just have 4, right? Did she have the 4?
She had 3.
I think it's Tabitha. Don't vote Mary.
Dang. Well, pull that tape. Like I said, tape don't lie.
Not gonna say that.
Tape don't lie.
Don't lie.
Mary, do you think Dom and Rita are a dangerous duo?
Mary.
Loyal.
There is this loyalty between them.
I think Dom is the dangerous one.
You say that because he wins the challenges?
Exactly.
Rita, you're not dangerous.
That's okay if I'm not. Listen, I came all the way up from being the supposed leader. Like, I'll be in the middle. That's fine.
Tabitha, how are you feeling about tonight's vote?
I feel good.
Why is that?
Because the one person that I know that wanted me out is out herself, so I feel good.
Ashley, you're safe tonight, but how are you feeling about tonight's vote?
Oh.
Not good.
No, because after the way the 2 votes went down, the Riazzo vote, and then the next set of votes is for Susan, even though Susan only had 3 votes. That's concerning. You know, that is a very big concern, especially when the dynamic duo over here is still wanting me because of this unspoken person we're moving past, right? But we got the dynamic duo over here who still wants me gone because of that. And it seems that the dynamic duo may be working with another on this table here, which means essentially if I think what might happen happens, then I'm essentially by myself at that point. I mean, you know, we got the dynamic duo and
I think we need to turn this dynamic duo.
That we might have to get that like some t-shirts in this thing. 'Cause, I mean, I know it's serious, but that's the crazy thing in hindsight of how all the dynamic pieces.
Have like a fist pump.
Yeah.
I was trying to. This is the thing, you guys. Like when I met with Tabitha, and she was telling me like she was about to like work with you two. I had been at that point. Had been playing my game, not telling people what to do, right? But I really wanted to be like, Tabitha, why are you not sticking with me and Mary? You are someone I seen in the final 3. So like my final 3 was Riazzo and Tabitha. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that me and Tabitha made it this far, I could see final 2 for us. I could see final 3 for me, her, and Mary now at this point. And you're saying that you're flipping to vote with 2 people who you know have each other's back. I didn't say that to her. So here at Tribal Council, I'm trying to tell her, like,
I think the only thing that was like mistaking on that part was Mary didn't build that connection big enough Tabitha.
Exactly.
And I think
And I didn't realize that.
because like and yeah, because and it wasn't Mary's fault. She's just not like a very sociable person in that way. And it's like hard to open her up. But I think that because that's the reason why like she just like she wasn't trusting Mary. And I think she was like kind of going by your word. And I think she was like weirded out by the whole Susan thing. So
Susan, it was Susan tarnished
once
my
I got
reputation
Tabitha
with
there, I knew I'd have Tabitha. 'Cause
Yeah,
that's exactly what I pulled. I was just like,
exactly.
I'm gonna get her there because now psychologically she has to kind of go with it because I pulled what she had been fearing the whole time. And it's just
Right.
like
And I
now
was trying to
she'll listen to that.
Right.
Yeah, and I was trying to let Mary know also, like, because I hadn't directly told Mary that Tabitha was gonna vote for her. I had told
Okay.
Mary that she was that didn't look good for her,
Okay.
but I
Mhm.
didn't say 110% unequivocally like this is what's gonna happen. Like flat out, she told me that she already made her decision. So
Mhm.
at this point, I'm just letting, like, basically just solidifying to Mary, like, just brace for it because it's
Mhm.
definitely gonna. That's why I'm like, somebody here. Mary knew it wasn't her. Mary knew I wasn't thinking she was working with you guys. So when I
Right.
start saying there's somebody here working with, you know what I'm saying? Like, who else could it be?
Message.
Well, I'm wondering too if Mary would have had a one-on-one with Tabitha. Do you think the votes would have like changed?
No, because of the Susan thing, and
Okay.
Mary had been closed off. So
Okay.
it was just Tabitha. Tabitha already knew that she was, like she said, she was already planning on flipping. She was coming to Dom to tell, that I think in there, she was coming to Dom to tell Dom, let's vote Ashley,
Okay. Right.
anyways, but I had got immunity. You get what I'm saying? So she had
Right.
already switched gears to begin with.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
That's
And
too.
Susan was just the cherry. That was just her reason. That was just her. She
I
was
mean,
able to just justify it with the Susan thing.
well, you know what's weird about that whole situation too is that Typhon, Tabitha, and Mary were in the original alliance with each other. And so that's what's like that is very interesting about that. But again, and I don't know if Mary and Tabitha just really built that connection, which is
And that's
crazy.
why I thought it was stronger than. That's why I thought it was stronger than it was because they were already working with Typhon
Right.
before
Okay.
he was gone, and I was able to work with them.
And you made kind of like the assumption that they were kind of stronger already, but it was Typhon kind of like holding
That's a
that
lot though.
together. Like
Mhm.
he's the more vocal one.
Yeah,
Dang.
definitely. That's exactly how it went.
Ladies here.
Well, who's working with the dynamic duo?
Somebody. There was 4 votes for Susan.
Mary, are you working with the dynamic duo?
No.
Tabitha, are you working with the dynamic duo?
I mean, it's any man's game at this point in time.
I mean, and at this point, honestly, if the votes don't fall the right way, if they don't fall on either Rita or Dom, to be honest, that they're just giving up their game because those two are definitely going to pick each other. The whole point is, we know for a fact, like Rita said, the loyalty, she is definitely going to take you and you are definitely going to take her.
See, that was the whole thing. I didn't want to do that behind your guys' back. I wanted you guys to know that this is what I'm saying about you.
The dynamic.
Yeah.
Oh.
But it's only 2 of us. It's still doesn't say.
Well, I don't know. Maybe that just told the story.
She
Maybe
wasn't gonna be
now
able to
we know
twist
who's
it.
working with the dynamic duo. I don't know.
I think overall.
So okay, pause. So quick question then. So if Dom and I like you, because we were close, like definitely closer than Tabitha. But do you think if you were the final 3, would you have taken Tabitha, or would you have taken Mary if you guys were like in the final 3?
Oh shoot, let me think about this.
Hold on. Hey, Rita, you can't even say that. Can you say that? Is that a spoiler?
Mary gets voted out right now.
Okay,
Mary
okay.
gets
All right.
voted out right now, but I'm saying like in retrospect,
Yeah, in hindsight, okay.
So we can pretend with Mary, right? We can pretend with Mary.
we can pretend with Mary, right? Exactly.
Whew, I'm glad you asked that because I watched a lot of these reality shows and I'm like, when they ask those questions, I'm like, well, how would they answer, right? And they're like, I don't know. Let's see.
Because for Dom and me, when it was Emily, me and Dom, I told him I would have legit had to have flipped a coin. Like I would have not known who the fuck to choose. Like I would have been like, oh, coin time. You get heads, you get tails.
So here's the thing. This is a perfect opportunity to do this right now. Because we know that this episode it happens and Mary's voted, right? So the thing is, we were never going to make it because Tabitha made her choice right here. Get what I'm saying? Right. So if she had made the choice and all three of us had voted together at the final three, it would have been hard because when it mattered, Tabitha came through, but Mary had been coming through religiously.
Sure, right.
Do you vote me or do you vote Rita? That's the question that I would think. Like, would you vote me or do you vote Rita at that point?
No, yeah, I can't now. See we can't.
Well, no, I know. We're just like trying to put that
we're just trying to pick the scenario that how it looks.
But yeah, no, we can refrain from answering any of that.
Very strong players, so whoever gets out, we're taking a big opponent out because I mean we have all been working very closely together, regardless if we want to admit it or not. So, and yeah, I'm loyal to the end. So yeah, Dom is my teammate.
Technically, we haven't all been working closely together because me and Dom haven't really worked. We haven't really talked a whole lot of strategy, really, to be honest. Maybe about the weather and about hairstyles and shows and all the fun fluffy stuff.
We were getting personal.
Any quick?
I think when I was saying we were talking strategy.
Yeah.
What's that, Rita?
I think when I was saying when we were all close as far as talking strategy, I meant within our alliances. I didn't within all of us because obviously it was one team against the other trying to get the other people out.
So. I think for me I was letting the people that I was still working with know.
Right.
Clearly these are the things that I've been talking with Dom and Rita about.
Right.
Hair and all that. I haven't been scheming behind your backs, you guys. Because you gotta remember you still gotta be doing jury management no matter how far think or hope to make in the game. Once you make it to jury, everything is about interpretation and leaving them wondering or speculating.
Exactly. Yeah, I could definitely up my game with that, and that's not it's something I would have to work on because I fucking suck at lying, dude.
Yeah, I'm not good at either.
Yeah, I can
you see,
be
I
good.
keep forgetting Emily had an idol. I'm like, girl, that's like Emily. You guys thought I was running around telling everybody Emily had an idol. I forgot Emily had an idol.
Right, exactly.
I didn't tell no one. I forgot. I was so busy trying to get the Jason thing told.
Oh man, go for it.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about the jury though? That's my question. What would you feel going on the jury? Anybody what would that feel like?
If I go on that jury, I'm excited. I just want to see
I'm thinking the same thing.
Yeah. who's out to get who?
The jury's kind of lit. You'll get cussed out by Muggsy at first, and then
She was born without me.
All right. Well, we have to get to tonight's info.
For Mary. There's no hard feelings, obviously. Hard feelings.
There's a little star on it.
I know.
I feel like part of the reason why Rita is still in the game is because of Dom.
Rita, just because I feel like I could say Dom, but Mary saying this is the way she's gonna vote, and I might as well stick with some number all the way to the end instead of just throwing random votes around.
Mary.
Still trying to be loyal.
Mary, because different game wise, it makes the most sense.
I love how her vote is silent.
If anybody has an advantage and wants to use it, now would be the time to do so. All right. First vote is for Rita. Next vote is for Rita. Next vote is
Real quick, hold on, Rita, real quick. Okay, did you feel right there that like I was gonna switch or anybody was gonna switch?
Honestly, it really didn't matter
Yeah.
if it would have happened. Like at that point, like yeah, we were all like really big players. So
Mhm.
it's like someone's bound to get out.
Yeah.
And, you know, like it wasn't like I was super worried about it. Like for me, it's like if someone switched up and like it was for their game, so I would have been like overly offended by it. I probably would have asked the question, yeah, but I would have been like, okay, I understand that. So yeah.
Yeah. As the feeling
Dom,
you see
real-
those votes.
Go ahead. No, before you press play, I want to say something. Go ahead with that, though. I just want to let you know I wanted to say something too. Go ahead.
You ain't no. Oh. No, but no, go ahead. Go ahead. Go say what you were gonna say.
Sorry. I was gonna say, were you surprised that your name wasn't dropped that vote?
I was surprised because I'm just thinking like competition wise, maybe I think what Mary said was what Mary was thinking, but I'm just like competition wise, Mary, why would you not take me out? Because
Yeah.
if you can swing Tabitha, you know I'm the strongest player. I've won 4 challenges, and you know there's just certain things that I'll probably be able to be a little more competitive in. So that's why I was actually shocked when I saw the 2 Ritas, because I'm like, it should say Dom, and then if they could actually get Tabitha, but I just felt like Tabitha,
maybe-
after I was able to switch Tabitha, I'm like, I have Tabitha exactly where we need her.
Well, I think she did that though, because I think she thought you were more of a like what is it, like a more honorable player because of all the games that you won. And so and I think because of that, maybe that's like why she was voting me. And like honestly, like, do you think that you carried me? Like, be honest. Like,
No,
honestly.
I mean, no, I think you had like the strategic part, and me, I just was like more on the competitive side. I felt like there was just times like when we had that W immunity, like there was just times where we just had to work together to get there, and like you did win. So it wasn't like, and I think you had the psychology part of like when they could have voted you out. I think that was very strong on your part, because I think the whole you and Ashley thing could have changed the whole dynamic. And so when Ashley didn't vote you, I felt like that also showed a lot of the character, because like you said, she was looking at it like who was being dishonest more than who was playing the game. So I just felt like there wasn't a carry. I felt like I needed you and you needed me. And it's just like, we're just gonna be shooting. We're gonna be shooting each other. You shoot on that side, I shoot on that side. It really felt like, we had to be like some Tomb Raider type thing.
Like I felt like with like, again, like I hate like talking about it because like, it's been talked about so much this season, but like going back to the Susan and Jason vote, and I feel like because you kind of came out of that being a heavy target for everyone, I was like trying to like shield you as much as possible.
Oh yeah.
Like, this is pretty much a shit
because
show.
exactly, as like Susan's mad, and now Ashley now has Mary plus Susan, and it's just like the male thing. I felt like it was very much like a feminine movement, and I'm just like, damn, I gotta move. I gotta figure out how to like not be like you said, come off not alpha, but enough to be like, I gotta be able to know when to use like that man card, because it's like that's all I felt. I'm like, at some point I'm like, that's when I felt with Tabitha. I'm like, I gotta use the man card now, because I'll be able to shift one of these women to our side. And it could have been Susan if Susan would have played that way, but it's just kind of like she's the liar now. So it's just like nobody trusts that.
Yeah. All right, man, go for it. I think we have a couple more minutes.
For Mary. Next vote is for Mary. The next person that voted out of Online Survival 4 is Mary. Mary, you have been voted out. If you have any last words, you can state them now.
It's been fun. Thanks for the game.
That was so vague.
That was.
Finale. The only male left.
Right.
We'll be in the final 2 to pitch why. All right, you can pause. Oh yeah, okay, I paused
Yeah.
it. All right,
Okay,
guys.
yeah.
Any final thoughts? Like, how's this been watching this whole season? I know my mind's been blown.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's been a roller coaster. There was some twists and turns. Like there was definitely some Inception moments. Like there were certain things that like the mind of it, of like trying to understand the psychology of it. Like I look back on it, it's like a masterclass in learning, like you said, people, emotional intelligence, psychology. Like it had so many levels of like I really came away from that like learning like things to where it's just like you understand like even the power of law. Like there like the one time when you know the things switch, like there's a lot of like dynamic to it that I'm just like I enjoyed like seeing it back because in the game of it, I just like because we were doing it like every night. It's just like this is a lot.
It's
So
hard
like
it's hard to compartmentalize and
mhm.
just like come up with plays, and it's like so morphed together. Like you ain't got time to like I know I didn't have time to be like, oh,
Social
I can work this
algorithms.
stuff.
It's their social algorithms. My kids run them all the time. You know what I'm saying? My children are running the social algorithm with every choice and every movement they make. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And that's really what it was, like to be able to that's why they're social experiments, these reality games, you know, is they want to see how different personality types mesh with other personality types and how these different personality types like use their characteristics
Right.
to forge in adverse situations. You know what I'm saying? And can you see how far can you move your pieces? You know,
Right.
and that's really why I want to do it, because I just want to see, like, really, basically, this game gave everybody permission to try to read each other. And that's
Yeah.
what you don't do in your everyday life. It's invasive to try to like read someone in your everyday life. But in this game, you signed up to be read and for people to try to read you. And can you block off enough of your energy? Have you mastered keeping your cards close? Are you in control of you enough to give and take what you want to give and take to the next person who is also trying to set out to read you and figure out what you're about?
Right. And I think that's why it was important for me just to remain who I was. Maybe that wasn't the best strategic plan, but I was just like, for me, because it's so hard for me to lie to people in general. So I'm like, I can't like just like be like talking to somebody out of like context on a screen. Like there's no way in hell like they're gonna catch that shit right away. So I'm just like, let me just remain who I am and we'll see like how far I get. And yeah, go from there.
Yeah, and for me, like, it was I learned a long time ago, like flat out lying is I will get caught every time. I can't remember. You know, I can't even remember the stuff I'm supposed to remember. You know what I'm saying? So to try to move that way, I knew that wasn't going to work for me. But I knew that I was going to have to really pace myself. And I say in the beginning, I'm like Ty. I want to talk. I want to tell. I want to share. I want to connect. You know, but I really have to hold myself back because while I'm an emotional person, this is the thing, when my logics and loyalty are on autopilot, sometimes my emotions get a hold of my lips.
Yes.
Yeah, that's understandable. Everyone does that.
And so
it's logic, emotion.
I'm speaking the emotional part, but I'm still moving logically and loyally. You get what I'm saying? So it kind of looks like I'm not balanced, but I am. I'm expressing myself, but at the same time I'm still holding true to who I am.
Right. Man,
so
it's been a roller coaster. Yeah, this is
it was.
I just love seeing everyone's gameplay with this and just like how people reacted to it. Like, and honestly, like if I were to play something like this again, I know I would probably play this a lot differently now. Like, see,
I love to play against the other teams that or the other seasons like that because it just be like from a competitive standpoint, like because you can just see like some of them are so emotional to it. Like our season is so different. So like you said, to get that far of it, looking back on it, like that was a lot. Like that because it could have went different. Like you said, one challenge lost, I'm gone. One challenge gone, you're gone. One
Yeah.
Riazzo conversation changes things. Emily's, move changes things. Susan's blow up. Like there were so many things that just kind of made it to where it's just like you kind of recognize like why we got there, because it was just kind of like you had to kind of be able to like, all right, we got to zig when they zag, right? It was very much a like chess,
Yeah.
like at all points. So like I really felt like everybody had a very high degree of getting there, because even like you said, even whatever Mary did have some parts where she could have did a lot of strategy. She was ready to drop a bomb, but it's just kind of like she just kind of like you said, she didn't push it enough, because I think that's probably what I bet Mary got like a lot of confidence out of this too, because it's just like this is not her element. She's kind of more of an introvert, but it's just like I think that was exciting. Yeah, exactly.
But she came up with great ideas, and she was willing to voice those ideas, and they weren't bad ideas. It was just trying to figure out how to make those, like even when you played your idol, I heard what she was saying, but it was so like the limited time and just the bombs. What we could have done and what would have been funny, and I think this is what she was trying to do, but we didn't have enough time to execute it, is leave you feeling like you need to play your idol, but no one vote for you.
Right.
We split the votes between Rita and Emily. You get what I'm saying? Like she was trying to create this beautifully laid out thing, and I'm just like, we don't have time. We don't have time. Like we don't have time, and we already got somebody who we don't even know. You know what I'm saying? Where he's at. So, yeah.
Honestly, if we do play against like some of these like big hitters, in my opinion, I'm definitely gonna be scheming.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Well, listen, I can't talk about my gameplay because they really pay attention to this stuff.
I know they do.
They be on it. They be so serious sometimes. Like when they be doing the up and down, sometimes I'll be like, "How?" That's why I was just like, "How?" I'm like, if I'm winning, how am I down? I'm like, I don't understand. I'm like, I was like, y'all be getting. They got their personal, favorites. So it's curious to me how
they definitely do. And I'm gonna tell you, I love Meg, but it's so funny because Alex mentioned something about her and him in one of the seasons. They had bumped heads in one of the seasons, and Alex laughed about it. He was like, basically like water under the bridge. Meg was sitting over there like, that shit is still sitting in my.
Like she was still burning inside from it.
I was like, Meg, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I think we got 2 minutes left, but it was so nice having you.
Yes, Janessa, yes, it was good to have you on.
I hope we see you on the next episode for the final one.
Right.
And I honestly, if anyone else wants to come on, whether if you've been eliminated or not, like, come on, guys.
Right.
Like, so much fun just catching up.
It was fun.
And
it was.
I want to see everyone's perspective and just.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Have a good night, guys.
All right, guys.
Good night.
Bye.